Happy holidays, hoes. It's Travis Thorell, and welcome to We Are Live. Not his mouth! Best band in America, my friends.
Yep. Hard to argue.
Hey, Chris. That'll wake him up.
Happy snow day, everybody. It's a lovely, lovely Monday here in St. Louis. We are live. Chris Tim and Travis Terrell. Check out the YouTube channel. Search Midcoast Media. Subscribe today. Joining us, he got the shaft from the first bus, so he had to take the second bus this morning. It's the Snow Queen, Scooter King, who knows? Chris Gardner.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Ow!
And I'll be a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Travis Terrell didn't show his face here today.
Oh, did I ever, my friend? You thought Snowhawk was going to be up my ass.
I was already
And all the way up it.
Yeah, all the way up it. I was prepared to start on an empty chair, make some Clint Eastwood jokes. You know, find whatever ethnic slur group that he randomly is prejudiced against this go round and start talking about them.
Depending on the movie.
Depending on the movie. And then you show up.
Here I am.
And now I have to rethink everything. The world is flat. OJ didn't do it. I don't know how to handle this.
No, this is...
Well
this
played.
is
Well played, sir.
Surprise of the year. And it is, I'll say this, you realize that there was enough of a window and the main roads were fine enough, there's a lot of coverage of them looking fine, or something's gotten into you today. It is going to get bad throughout the rest of the day, right? Like if you look at the radar, look at it, he's freaking out right now.
He didn't know that.
He just didn't look. Okay. Yeah. Now we figured it out. Okay. Now we figured it out. So he just didn't look at the forecast. Okay.
He was
Gardner and I
focused
were
on making it here.
fully ready to do a one-on-one show, definitely just because there were some clouds in the sky. But, yeah, so be careful if you're around St. Louis. But, yeah, I think this morning, all right, I got over here fine.
I think you're right about the window. I did have a window. There was last night. There were things I did to my driveway to make it easier. Because here's the thing with the snow this time around. You had a window. Everyone had a window. MoDOT had a window. IDOT. Everyone had a window where it snowed. They could shovel it, lay down all the treatment that they need to lay down. It snowed again later in the afternoon yesterday. But there was enough treatment down to where when they went over again earlier this morning, they were able to clear the roadways. And the roadways were very, very clear. Thing is, for me, I live in North County. I live in a subdivision that doesn't frequently plow the roads. So therefore, for anyone who's lived out or gone out to North County, as you understand it, there are nothing but hills. So it makes sometimes climbing those hills in inclement weather very, very difficult. Therefore,
Do you
very
believe in
difficult to leave
climate
this.
change?
I see what you did there. Very smart. Very well done. Very clever. But I did not. Usually, what happens is that it's difficult to leave the subdivision because it's virtually impossible. Today, it looked slushy enough, like enough cars had gotten on, or had gotten up before I did early this morning to leave a little traction on the.
So if cars
subdivision.
people probably got up earlier than normal.
It looks like that may have been the case.
So it worked for you to get up at your normal time.
It worked for me to get up at a suitable time. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't, because, like...
You thought I was getting up early? Daddy needs that extra 20 minutes. Trust me on that one. So, but no, after I did the driveway, got to my car, was able to get out of the subdivision, took some time, but I got out of that bad boy, and as Chris pointed out, once you get to the main roads, you're pretty clear. And then apparently, looks like a lot of schools and a lot of businesses are closed today because the highways were a ghost town. So that made it also easier for me to get here.
That made it pretty simple. Side roads were kind of not so great in my short commute, but there's nobody on the road. So
Right.
that is, it's what sucks too, though, because even if there's a few people, if just one person isn't kind of treating it with just the half of percentage more respect you need to give it, they're going to slam into the back
Yes.
of you
Yes.
while you're stopped at a
Yes.
four-way stop waiting for
Yes.
the other people to go.
There was an accident with the bus yesterday.
Somebody hit the bus.
No, the bus hit like
oh,
a
no.
Oh no.
fire department SUV.
Oh no.
Because I
That's the city. They can straighten that out.
I ventured out to try a new bus route for myself yesterday, right before the snow started coming, and then when I was coming back, it was really in
Yeah,
full
it
force.
picked up. Yeah.
So I went and took the 95 down
Oh,
Kings
okay.
Highway,
Where are you heading?
got off at Southwest, walked up, had lunch at Taco Circus.
Oh, nice.
They were having snow day when it started snowing real hard in there, hard outside, because then the whole crew inside was like, "All right, snow day. Who wants a shot of tequila?"
Oh.
And they just started
Nice.
past. They offered it to me twice.
Oh, that's.
I was
oh,
like,
God,
"Look, if
dude.
this was 6 years ago, you would have had me for the rest of the day."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there would be
I'd
a Gardner
saddle up.
suite.
Yeah, I would have saddled up,
Sweet.
and you would have been calling a cab for me.
Yeah.
Where does he live? It doesn't matter. Just get him the hell
Let's
out
get
of
him.
here.
Put him in a cab. Just tell him to drive.
So they were having fun.
Okay.
I enjoyed their food, but I ventured out yesterday. And then when I went to get the bus, there was one at the stop, and it would have been like 6 minutes early. And I'm like, what is this? This can't be. And then to come to find out, that bus had hit a fire department
Wow.
SUV. So then we hopped on the next one. So everyone from that previous bus piled into the other one, so
Right.
it was packed. And then this was the fun part. I love the bus. I had an interesting public transit weekend, and we get to the next stop. Two separate people get on the bus that are just talking to themselves out loud.
Two
Just
separate
two
people talking
separate-
to themselves
So there's
out
like
loud.
two conversations,
Man, that's
but
what-
they're talking to themselves. And one of them was right across from me, and he had a little metal pipe in his headband.
Oh,
and I'm like,
boy.
oh shit, he's high on
Oh.
something.
Yeah.
So I just tried to stare forward,
There you
but
go.
it
I
was
love-
that's a
interesting.
good move.
I love the
ventured
Gardner
out
Chronicles
and-
of the bus travels.
Well, and then I got like on MetroLink the day before. I think I got kind of pegged as a mark because I had a guy coming up asking me for money several times. I'm like, dude, I just don't have this, and he's like,
Saw Santa Claus.
And I-
What is he supposed to do?
yeah. So it was like 3 times.
Santa on the metro.
And there are times where I notice someone's like circling me or something, so I kind of move. Or
you gotta keep it. You
You
gotta.
gotta. I've
some-
learned.
And then not only that, sometimes it's okay to look crazy at the metro station because that's fine. Look,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be, oh, everything's calm. No. It's the metro.
Yeah.
If you need to look crazy, look crazy.
So you just can't stay still though if
Right.
something like that's happening. So like I might either pull my phone out and kind of like act like pull Twitter out or something, but kind of rotate myself or move down the platform some. But the guy kept asking me for money, but in the end, I didn't give him money, but I
Okay.
respected his final try. Because then he goes, "You do Cash App?"
Nah.
I'm like, you know what?
Well played.
I said I don't, but I do. But I respect that
Yeah.
because what that is, that's adapting to your surroundings. That's
Exactly
adapting
it.
to technology. Because we've asked the question before: what do people that are asking for money these days now do when not as many people are
carry cash
carrying
with them.
cash?
Good
Well, you
point.
know what?
I didn't think about that.
Someone has made the adjustment to say, "Do you do Cash App?" So I can at least appreciate and respect that.
That's good.
So it was a fun weekend of public transit. I
There you
did
go.
enjoy it. But I did come prepared depending on what was going to happen
Okay.
with the weather. We are in snowpocalypse mode.
Thank you.
So I made this graphic for you gentlemen. Now, in case it didn't turn out like it was supposed to, I had also come prepared with Snow You Didn't. So depending on what it was going to be, we at least have these now in the vault to go to, depending on the weather. So either snowpocalypse or Snow You Didn't.
Is that the lovely gondola outside the Muni?
That is not a gondola.
That's not a gondola.
Are you
Chris.
thinking of a gazebo?
That is probably what I was thinking. I don't.
Don't worry about you.
It is outside the Muni. It is not a gondola,
What
however.
is a gondola, by the way? Is that the thing that on the wires?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it most certainly
You
is.
take it up the side of a mountain.
Yeah, I just figured that one out. My bad. My
Yeah.
bad, fam. I'm poor. What you want me to do?
Oh, that's right.
I
So
don't
we
know
are
words.
in snowpocalypse mode.
The roads were very good this morning, so I was very surprised. So as much as often as I bitch about MoDOT, as often as I bitch about the cities and municipalities not getting out there doing their damn jobs, I have to salute and tip my cap to all the workers, service workers who I would imagine were up around 1, 2, 3 in the morning, treating the roads, making it safe for those who do have to go to work, like important jobs like attorneys and judges and doctors.
They're
And
not going in.
and that's the thing. I think
Here's the
very
thing.
A ton of businesses closed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it's not even necessarily the snow. Here's a little info for you.
Yeah.
This is I was sitting with one of my dream team members yesterday, arguing like we normally do about politics and such, and making fun of each other. But this is the time of year because I asked where another member of the dream team was. Like, what? I haven't seen him lately. Where's he? And it's the holiday party circuit for lawyers right now. Like basically the end of last week, they're done through the end of the year.
That's what I figured. I kind
So
of
lawyers, they're not doing anything for the rest of the year. They're attending everyone else's holiday parties now. That's what it is.
Okay.
That makes sense. We've got some comments. Ron Finger wants to know, is it hard to ride a scooter in the ice?
I haven't tried. Would not be a good idea. And plus, number one, here's the thing for me. I don't want to ride the scooter when there's salt on the ground. I don't want to put that on the undercarriage of the scooter.
Would it be, would you say, okay, all right.
What? It's not built for that. Why would I want to dissolve what my scooter is made out of? I don't want it to rust.
I'm just thinking of William H. Macy's character in Fargo when he's trying to sell the undercoat.
The black sheep thinks that Travis combined gazebo and pergola to make a gondola.
I think you just got the G words messed up. You just
Is
got them
that how
messed
your brain
up.
works?
I think that's how it works. Dead on.
Like I almost said yes because you said it. Oh, is
Gondola!
that the gondola outside the meeting? I'm like,
I
oh,
knew
yeah.
when immediately
no,
when it
no,
came
no,
out of my
actually,
mouth
no,
that
it's
wasn't
not.
the gondola. At the same time, I was hoping maybe they'll let me slide with this one.
It's a melodica.
The
Melodica.
YouTube comments are exploding. The fancy foyers on YouTube. We got people saying, "What's up, walnuts?"
Hey, what's up, Nuts a
Oh,
Wall?
I forgot.
Say hello, Gardner.
Good morning, Walnuts. Hope you're safe. Stay warm.
Word to the mother.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know our friends at St. Louis Counseling Services, they've closed their offices
saw
all
that.
around St. Louis. The Great Crown Candy Kitchen just tweeted. I retweeted old Andy saying they're not going to be open past 2 o'clock today.
Past 2,
Yeah.
so we could still get down there.
You should
for
get
some
yourself a BLT and kind of load up.
Just watch the side streets.
Actually,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you look
that's
at
my dinner tonight. I think.
you going
Crown
for Crown
candy?
Candy?
No BLTs.
Oh, okay.
Homemade.
Yeah, I
I
went
see
to
you balling.
Dierberg's on
Must be nice.
Saturday.
Look at this. This is ball. Go to Dierberg's.
I love news coverage from grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
I saw just the madness happening at stores near my house yesterday.
I was good on Saturday night. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't go out during Saturday day because I thought people might be out during the day for stuff the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night was fine. Took the Metrolink over there and then Ubered back, and it was just fine for me.
So responsible.
So I got everything set up.
Look at
We're
you.
all good.
Such a
We
responsible
are
individual.
all good.
Yeah, let us know. You guys going to work today? Let's see what's going
Let
on.
us know. I
See,
see what you did
Let
there.
us know.
Oh,
let
that's
us
cute.
know. Let us know.
Would ice
I've
test?
always-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I've always wanted to, instead of grocery stores, since we made such a big deal out of the IKEA opening, everything reaction wise, man on the street stuff for news, it should all be done at IKEA's. Like Blues win Stanley Cup. No
IKEA.
bar.
Live
no
shot
bar.
from
No,
IKEA.
live shot from
Live
IKEA.
shot from
I
IKEA.
like that.
Bad weather. Live shot from IKEA. Whatever happens, local story. Live shot from IKEA.
Makes sense.
That's what should be done.
Makes sense.
Maybe we could get that done later for us.
I can't say that you're wrong.
You want us to broker a media partnership between every station in the greater St. Louis area and IKEA.
Or we could just take
We
our
go to
coverage.
IKEA.
We could go do a
Oh, okay.
Facebook Live from IKEA.
All right.
And then maybe
Travis, you in?
get some taquitos at Quick Trip afterwards.
This may work. Makes the
That's-
job easier also on the journalists because they should not also be out in the weather. And our good friend Chris Davis, they're often
Yeah.
in vans and trucks driving around town.
Is
and
that your favorite? These poor bastards just getting carted around
I just
everywhere.
feel
I see
so
Alexis
awful.
Zotos just kidding, just
poor.
everywhere.
Just so they're talented journalists.
Yeah.
Just I'm with Gardner. Find one location. Let's
But-
post them up there.
But Tracy Henson, when she was on, said she loves to be out in this weather.
True.
Because this is what she lives for.
Yeah. So it depends on the person. There's some that might like that, and there are others that, hey, I get the 270 in Olive, 270 in Manchester overpass. I get the Highway 40
Right.
Hampton overpass. Let's go to Turtle Park.
Right.
Like, you got to be able to stake out the proper overpass if you're a news person. I picture it like when I have seen homeless people arguing over corners. I'm sure the news teams argue over who's going to get what shot from what overpass. At least that's how I like to visualize it. I wanted to mention something, too, because I brought up IKEA. Funny story I heard over the weekend. I know a girl that works there now. When she was going to her job interview there, she was running late because she got lost in the store. And she had to find some employee to let them know, hey, I'm here for a job interview, but I can't find where I'm supposed to go. She got lost in the store
Inside the
because
store.
of how IKEA is designed.
That's not a good start.
And apparently it's not the first
I'm
Person
sure.
to
or
Yeah,
last time
that
that's
has
happened. So my theory being that's the first test for the job interview. And if you do find it, you're automatically
I
hired.
think that's probably that's smart. That makes sense.
But I heard that and thought that was funny. They got
That's
lost
pretty good.
going to an IKEA job interview.
Did the weather stop you guys from having a decent weekend? How'd it go?
No, I was good. I mean, I didn't do much. I don't think. Cleaned yesterday morning.
What a responsible human you are.
Dusted, Swiffered. Waited till 10 o'clock, 10:05 in particular, to vacuum. Because I live in an apartment building, so I don't want to vacuum.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'd wait till 10 o'clock to make any noise. If I were ever going to hang a picture or anything like that, I would wait till 10.
At night?
No, in the morning.
Oh, okay.
That would be funny.
It's like, well, that's,
No, that's too late.
I'm about to say that seems pretty inappropriate.
Yeah, that's why I wait till 10 in the morning, because
Okay.
I think that's a fair enough
10
time.
is fair. 10
yeah.
is fair. 10:30 to maybe be safe.
So I try not to bug anyone,
Well, that's good of you.
but, if it's past 10, then, I got to get shit done.
Weather was a son of a bitch all weekend. Nevertheless, family in town, older brother, graduated
Congrats to him.
from Harris Stowe State College. Very happy and proud of him. I don't share this story often, but a few years ago, my brother was diagnosed with cancer. So we had to put his graduation on hold for obvious reasons. And so he returned, obviously, after the cancer went into remission. And he was grinding hard, man, working 2 jobs, graduating from college, putting 2 kids in college. As my niece currently at University of Tulsa playing some basketball, full scholarship, and I have a nephew currently at Webster Groves who played football. Probably will take a football scholarship here locally. And I have a younger niece who's just turned 5. So he's a father of 3, 2 jobs, runs his own little business, in remission from cancer, graduated from college.
Big
Big accomplishment. I'm very, very happy and
make
proud of him. So all the family were able to come up. Father came up from Memphis. He says, hello, gentlemen. Sorry he couldn't
Hello,
stop
Doc.
by.
Did he
And
have the smooth jazz instrumentals?
he
going
did. He
of popular
did. My
rap
niece,
songs?
my niece Duchess, she is so delightful. She loves his 50 Cent jazz mix.
Oh.
She's a big fan of that. So
Did he play Pony?
no, he played Many Men. I didn't know there was a jazz version of Many Men by 50 Cent, but apparently it is.
I'm going to look into
Yeah,
that.
you have to look it up. But it was a delightful week. I got a chance to hang out with them. There was a gender reveal. One of my siblings is having a baby. So we had a gender reveal party yesterday just before the weather turned too
It
bad.
didn't get crazy, did it?
It
Like
did
some of these?
not. It did. We didn't do one of the crazy gender reveal things. It was
No one
adorable.
died.
No one got shot. No one died. No one stabbed.
Nothing
No
blew
house
up.
is set on fire. No explosion. Uh, they just wanted to do the gender reveal because I guess they saw the millennials on the socials do it, so they thought they would participate in that as well. So that was delightful. So mine was just family oriented, spending time with loved ones. This time of year, as we often do, we try to designate the month of December as Family Month. Everyone's all over the place, so having to meet up, and that's
This
the
is a good time for you to start planning for February.
Generally speaking, yes, exactly. That's what it is.
You get some input here.
There's a drawback to having massive families. There is, because that family then gets bigger. Because as of course the kids get older, they meet a significant other. They start their own families as well. So we have to kind of designate a month where we all just make the rounds in 3 to 4 weekends.
And on the Gardner side, it's a bigger family, and so much so that now Grandma Gardner wants to do. She doesn't want to put the pressure on people to show up on Christmas Day anymore.
Right.
So she wants to do a Christmas in January type deal.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to do that. So she had picked a date, and everything's set. And she's like, this way everyone can make it. They're not being pulled every which way
Right.
to go to other family stuff. And then, of course, my little brother, he's not going to make it because he'll be skiing in Vail.
Tough break.
That guy's awesome.
Big loss for the Gardner
So
family.
we got the wrong Gardner, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I got to ski in Vail.
Everyone knows this because I go to a ton of graduations this time of year, and like this in May are always funny time of the year for me because graduations are something else. And what I loved about Harris Stowe is because it was an intimate affair. I think there were about 80 to maybe 100 students graduating. And they sell tickets, so it's not just a free for all for people just showing up at an auditorium. The graduate has to get allocated amount of tickets, get it to their family. And what I loved about it being such an intimate setting, everyone kind of virtually knew each other, and it's St. Louis, so it's like 9 degrees of separation. But it's Harris Stowe, of course, HBC, historically black college.
Would I have been welcome?
You would have.
Okay.
Obviously, several white students attend Harris Stowe.
Yeah, the baseball team.
True. And what I love is that so you're going to get a black graduation. Like your normal rules that universities say, wait to the end, keep your applause.
How many cha-cha slides were performed?
Listen here. You ain't saying nothing but a word.
Uh-huh.
When I say there were cowbells, bullhorns, air horns, confetti, I think somebody brought a gun, flashlights, sparklers, flares. It was a show.
It was
for
lit.
each and every person. So every name that was called, there was a uproar celebration. And it was
The heads going back and forth.
oh man, it was.
Where's the sound coming from? You imagine Chris with his misophonia?
Look, oh God, he would have lost his damn mind. And the fun, and this is the beauty, and this is why I love Harris Stowe. That's why I enjoy historically black colleges. They were cheering for other people's kids. So they, of course, heard the story about my brother and his cancer. The chancellor of Harris Stowe talked about his situation during the ceremony. And of course, so my brother's name's called, and we're all standing up cheering. We had the fat heads, the whole nine, and there are other
Fatheads, too.
Yeah, we had fat heads. Oh, we had fat heads, and so
If I ever get to graduate from anything, can I have it be like that?
yo, you can.
I don't even want my family or anyone there. I just want
So Travis's
bring your
family.
community.
Bring my community
for my
specifically
graduation.
and that's the beauty of it. Everyone around us were cheering as well for him. So it was a communal affair for everyone. And it was a lot of stories like that. And you'll hear it probably throughout graduation this weekend or this past weekend, I think, for a lot of people. And especially schools like Harris Stowe, or you'll see maybe at Forest Park or Flo Valley, is that there are a lot of people who have families, who have jobs, multiple jobs. And so they go to night school, they go in early. And so that's a lot. When you're trying to do 12, 14, 16 hours to work 2 jobs and raise a family.
That's why I've always respected Grandpa
Oh.
Evans for coming back from Korea, hitchhiking his way back,
Yes.
and then going to like 9 years of night school at Wash U to get a degree
And
while
it's-
working during the day and raising family.
And it's even more of a blessing because then the kids get to see it. Because it's not a matter of, you've heard your parents like, back in my day, I had to work this and that and the other. My nephew, my nieces, They can see with their own eyes, oh, yeah, dad's working all these hours. And that was the cool thing about seeing the people graduate. There were a lot of those stories where the kids see their parents like, oh, wow, mom, dad weren't joking. They were really out here, going to night school at 10 o'clock at night, and they were working 2 jobs to pay for books and things like that. And so I think that was the more satisfying thing for me, is that it was a communal affair. Everyone was cheering for other people's kids. People were cheering for families, because it really does, and God forgive me for saying this, but it's the truth. It really does take a village. When you're trying to, again, raise little ones up, and it helps to have everybody involved who can help, and the people who were there celebrating graduation, you can tell that they got across the finish line because of their support system. So I really enjoyed that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I went to a pre-Hanukkah party on
Oh, the Hockmans.
at the Hockmans.
Hanukkah.
On someone else said that too.
Nice.
How'd
On
it go?
Friday. This guy walked in. I had my line all set.
Oh, here we go.
Hockman, Angela, man, this party's like a menorah. It's lit. And then Hockman loved it and laughed. Yeah. Hey,
Well, that's
puns,
all that matters.
puns. I didn't walk
there-
in and say that right away.
Were there other?
I screwed up and forgot about it for a half hour, and then I found Hockman, and I said, I'm going to come back in and let's do it again. I have something I want to say.
Okay.
He literally walked out the
I
door.
said, okay, let's try this again. Like, I thought, like, because I saw I saw napkins with menorahs. I'm like, ah, shit, I forgot my line. I had prepared it 2 hours earlier.
Of course.
How was Benny and the Hawks?
It was great.
Were
I
there
was-
any members of the media there acting a fool?
No,
Okay.
no. I was pulling latkes out of the oven.
Look at you.
Is that how you do a latke? You pull a latke out of the oven? Okay.
It's good for you.
Latkes out there. Spanakopita. I had to pull the spanakopita out of the oven.
You get a chance to talk to him about the Mizzou hire? No, he's kind of head over the hill.
No, I didn't.
Okay. What did you guys discuss? What did you guys talk about?
Random stuff.
Oh, okay.
We wanted to go back and listen.
Seinfeld, 90s sneakers, and...
Oh, yeah. He had Patrick Ewing's on.
Good.
He had just gotten those
course.
recently.
Good.
Of course he did.
Then he was showing us some other ones he got, 2 new pairs of pumps. One of them, though, is a Chinese version of something and actually has Chinese lettering on it. So he liked
Well,
the way
thank God the NBA smoothed that over.
as he brought them out, he's like, I'm more of a Nike guy, but I got these Reebok ones and then these ones too because I thought they looked even better. So we did talk shoes for a little bit.
But the Hawkmans are doing
We
well.
talked about the writer's block, and we wanted to go back and maybe listen and see if it still holds up as a cult classic.
A self-anointed cult classic.
Self-anointed cult classic.
Okay.
That is millennial
So-
as it gets.
So we might do like a listening party to see. Okay,
That's
and
hilarious.
then say, all right, does it still hold
Does it
up?
still got the juice? Does it still have that fire?
Maybe we'll find some of the Merle Haggard stuff because we did talk
Nice.
about Merle because Hockman's 8th grade teacher was
Excuse
at
me?
the party.
Oh, wow.
And he was talking about Ken Burns' country music documentary and brought up Merle Haggard.
Is there a
And then-
documentary Ken Burns won't do?
And then, apparently it's very good because I was
Country
talking about
music,
Yeah, a
that.
lot
Ken
of people have
Burns?
been talking about
Yeah, I
that.
was talking
Damn,
about
Ken Burns!
with
Guy's good at his job.
Hockey Larry and one of the Dream Team members yesterday, and they were saying that there's some Towns Van Zandt stuff in there, which I would appreciate because I'm more of a fan of the older
Ken Burns is so
songwriters.
good. If there was a documentary you would want Ken Burns to do, what would it be?
I wonder what he could do with bullpen cards.
Ken Burns is so good and so detailed and so well researched. He is so damn good at this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the man is freaking Magic Johnson of the documentary
Well, it's
game.
going to be
He's
a
just
10-hour
so
thing
versatile.
no matter what it is.
But it's going to be the most riveting 10 hours of your life. The guy made the Civil War seem like a freaking Avengers movie.
Well,
It was that damn good.
without the CGI.
Without it.
With more of the just camera moving over a picture effect.
I think I know ESPN is doing it next year, but I would absolutely had Ken Burns through the '90s Bulls. just get some needed.
If you got
That
the
kind of
real-
style, I wonder how that
yeah,
translates.
with he said to sit down with Dennis Rodman.
Have him do a 30 for 30.
Okay.
Just for fun.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. I feel like someone at ESPN, someone at Disney, at some point went to
Yeah.
Ken Burns like, hey, you want to just whenever you want to.
Yeah. Just
You're more than
one.
welcome
We'll
to.
just do one.
I'm curious. So what was last? So baseball was his last one.
I guess so.
I'm curious. I would love to see him. He's just that damn good. Ken Burns, damn. Gardner, get Ken Burns on the show. Thank you.
Can't get Ken Burns right now, but we can get support from Gateway Powder Coat.
Hey now.
GatewayPowderCoat.com is the website. You know, you can check it out. Don't let your metal be ruined by moisture, heat, or other unsavory circumstances. They've got sandblasting, mobile dustless blasting available, high-temperature ceramic coating, and don't forget, you can view all of this, examples of the work, live at their location. You know where it's at, Gardner? O'Fallon.
Oh,
That's right.
my
You
hometown.
that's exactly right. You can go to 1500 Progress West Lane in O'Fallon. Check them out or give them a call, 636-486-2428, gatewaypowdercoat.com, excuse me. For more information, go say hi to Mark and the gang out there. They've supported us, so you support them. My cousin got married Saturday. That was a hell of a
I
time.
saw some pictures.
Yeah, it was a good time. I even tricked. Oh, hey, what's that from?
Oh, look at this. Hey, JPD. Oh, hold on now.
No.
JPD and Laradon. Oh, look at you in the. Oh, look at you in the. A sweater and a collar. I like.
I
Why
posted
is-
that. They had the photo booth thing set up, and I found some funny things,
That
and I
is
was like,
such-
"Oh, hey, mom, dad,
I
hold
love
these."
that photo.
And then I saw that picture that said "whoops," and on the fly, I was like, "Oh, this will be funny." And my parents were like, "What do you want us to hold?" I was like, "Don't hold anything, just point at me." And I held up the "whoops" thing, and then I made a post that said, "Birth announcement 35 years later."
Yeah. Ah.
I know that feeling.
As I was as a special surprise from the Lord.
Oh,
And
JPD.
so was I.
And Laradon. Laradon looking good. Laradon, you lost some weight.
You know
Laradon,
what?
you looking good, baby.
Let's not analyze too much here.
Laradon,
You're
and then
gonna- you're
the
gonna make it
facial hair
weird.
looks good.
You're gonna make it.
And
work.
you already know I see
Ooh, that's
it.
a nice knot too.
You already know I see it. Gardner, you already go to
Good
camera
tie
three.
length
Go
as
to
well.
camera 3.
Perfect tie length, middle of the belt buckle.
Yeah,
All right.
nice
Go to,
job
hold on,
there.
go to camera 3 though, because I saw
Oh,
something on
no.
that photo that I got to say something. Lady in red, ooh yeah, JPD, you're looking good, baby girl. Keep looking all right. Put you on top of a Christmas tree, because you just an angel, and I've fallen from heaven in love with you. Merry Christmas. Hey, Larry Dog.
So it was a hell of a time.
You were an angel? You said you were an angel.
shit, I don't-
Because you said you had fallen from heaven. You
Open
think you're
bar.
an angel?
I don't.
Open bar, good food. Everybody was in a good mood. A good amount of dancing. A lot of people out there dancing,
What
cutting
was
up.
it? You said Lizzo got it?
Lizzo got it rocking. I was gonna say my cousin's like 25, 26. So people are younger that were all in the wedding party.
Mm-hmm.
His brother crushed the best man speech. Like a couple of applause breaks.
Nice.
It was well done. It was and the maid of honor was very good with her speech. That's so key. And it's so many people are so bad at public speaking, and you're drunk and you're tired and you're nervous. More power to you if you can rock out a great speech. And
Yeah,
they
don't
both
make
did.
it long. Don't make it long.
No, stay short. Keep it under 5 minutes. 5
People want to
minutes is
drink.
pushing it.
People want to eat.
Yeah,
true. People
they
wanna
took
socialize.
this is their Saturday too.
Yeah.
And I mean, as selfish as that sounds, that's how people are. No, it was fantastic. Everybody's happy. You like those where people aren't having any kind of weird energy. You know what I mean?
I've
Everybody's
been to
just
one
smiling,
before
having
where
a good
somebody
time.
punched someone on the dance floor.
I can't imagine
hell of
if
an
one of those
excess.
happening.
I kick somebody ass. Yeah, I fight at my
Where
damn
was
wedding.
that? That was in St. Charles at the Columns, I believe. In St.
You fight at my wedding, I will show up to your job. I guarantee you that. I will find out where you work and I will embarrass the shit out of you. Don't you dare show up to my wedding. Hell no, I don't know who gonna marry my dumb ass. But I would imagine they don't
Step
pull up
one.
with shit. That'd be the first start, by the way. Plenty of conversation from the father and siblings about that one. Nevertheless, don't come to my damn wedding fighting. That's rude. Take that shit outside.
Where do you stand on people that get too drunk at the reception?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that either. Despite their
The two
these people are they party. They get after it, and the party bus too. I'm sure. I was a little worried because there was a gap between the ceremony at noon and the reception at 6. And I told my other cousin, the best man, I was like, "You guys aren't gonna be able to walk. These are hardcore partiers.
There was a gap.
6 hours. They did pictures.
Where the
and
hell
all that
did
other
y'all?
stuff.
What y'all do?
I went and took a nap.
See,
I was like-
I've been thinking about
I was
that
like,
as a
yeah.
strategy. I was like, I kind of like that strategy. I like having the ceremony, let people take a rest, change clothes perhaps, and then you got energy, and you're ready to truly kick it.
I drank a giant thing of coffee. I took a nap and drank a bunch
That's
of coffee. I was
smart.
like, I'm going to have some fun. And I did.
Yeah, that's how I think it should work. I don't like sometimes the only thing about weddings is if you've been up and at them for so long all day that when it gets to the reception you're kind of tuckered out. But if you get a little power nap in there, you're right back at it.
That's right.
But then if you're sober, it probably still sucks.
It was the kids' table was, nap is key, says Royce. And
I think
in the
when,
comments.
2 times I've been a best man, I've limited my alcohol intake until the speech was over.
I
There was
agree.
actually
Yeah,
a rule
that-
made on the
that-
second
that's
one.
smart.
Gardner gets no more than 2 drinks before
Yeah.
his
For the
speech.
Yeah. That was same for us. Best man, friend's wedding a couple years ago. We had shots and drinks before the ceremony. We didn't go too crazy though. And then we waited.
Yeah,
till
I was getting
after.
agitated. Let's get to the speech.
Yeah,
Like,
get to these.
no more than 2 drinks. What am I supposed to do with these DTs then, jerks?
And you cried during your speech, didn't you?
I don't know why you.
No, I'm saying because
say that.
I got a little emotional doing my speech.
I don't remember that.
It was your- yeah.
No,
you get
I-
emotional. You say
I
things.
kept it short and I got the message out, but yeah, I got a little emotional and just tossed it on.
a
the
good
next thing.
voice
My dad
crack is
crushed
nice.
his speech.
Yeah, you kind of got to script it in there.
A good voice crack goes a long way.
Ooh,
And I,
voice crack and tears. And I was like, just give it up for him. Have a good one, guys. That's what you got to do.
When my lawyer got married down in Florida, that's where he's from. It was fantastic because I stayed with his family for a week and had lots of fun.
Sure you did.
But I just made notes of what he was telling me throughout the week and pulled that out of my jacket to start the speech. So I was like, he didn't know I was doing this, but I was like, I wasn't really sure what to say about Brett. So I had him tell me things throughout the week that he would once said about himself. So who better to tell you about him than him? And I pulled out the list. And I go, here you go. And I just started reading
That's
what everything he
hilarious.
said. And
That's
he's like,
good.
ah, damn it.
Yeah, it's key. I haven't seen over the weekend. The combo of them was great, and then everybody was happy and enjoyed it. So yeah, it was a heck of a time. We got a few people commenting. Of course, Big Mike's on Travis. He goes, yeah, a gap, just like Chris's brother's wedding.
Hold on, man.
Travis.
Now, how's he gonna sit up here
Now, he
and
was
talk
with
about
you,
the guy?
right?
He was with me. Don't you dare sit up here and throw my ass under the bus.
Who's the
like I
one
was
who
alone.
told you the time?
I cannot share that information.
Was it Big Mike?
I will not say it was Big Mike.
It was the other person, wasn't
I'm
it?
not saying it was the other person either.
Who was the other person with you?
There was another individual
Who
with
was
me.
the other individual?
I love this individual. I love him like a brother. He's
So that is the person then. Individual
I love
3.
him. You know what? Because of his trustworthiness, and he may have gotten something wrong, but it wasn't myself. It wasn't Big Mike.
So you've
And I
okay.
will leave it at that.
Okay. So we have figured out who it is.
I love
Individual
him.
3.
I love individual 3 so much.
Big Mike, who's individual 3?
Big Mike's got some nerve. He's got some nerve.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what's happening here. Black Sheep said he had a pre-reception party in the rotunda of the Capitol and then headed to the governor's mansion, just like any other citizen would have done.
Oh, wow.
That's a pomp and circumstance that I don't think I
Fun.
could
I've been
be
to
part
that
of.
Capitol. Put a Post-it on there.
The place.
I guess they're putting the new statue up soon on top if the one lawmaker gets out of the way. Who doesn't want a false god, false idol on top of the Capitol building?
Well, that'll do it.
I know we did our Gateway powder coating, and they're very good. They can handle almost anything. How are they though, Chris, on Broken Jaws?
I don't know why you're saying this to me. I'm.
Because Colby Covington may need some Gateway powder coating.
What that doesn't. Maybe you'd say you'd send him to St. Louis counseling for his loss to reconcile that. But Travis, you don't really get involved with MMA much. And this guy Colby Covington went from nearly getting cut from the UFC to a title fight, tons of money, and he's doing it all with Ric Flair, fake MAGA, everything. And He got whooped over the weekend. Actually, it was a really good fight.
It was a good fight.
5-round fight. Yeah.
Covington, went 5. He was
Kamaru
actually-
Usman ends it in the 5th.
there were some people who actually had him ahead on the cards
He did really well.
before the knockout. But yeah, the shot that he landed,
Usman?
yeah. Like and I think Covington immediately knew when he got hit because he turned to the ref. It looks like as to look to the ref for an answer, like, "Hey, something not right," and you can just like they showed
Broken
the replay,
jaw.
like it was a broken jaw. And you mentioned Covington. Gardner just showed it with the hashtag MAGA jaw. The thing I will say, look, and this is it.
Have you paid attention to the whole thing?
I've just
It's-
read some of the headlines as far as him and some of the comments that
trolling,
he's made.
You're a fan of pro wrestling. This is like he wears a cheap suit and does stupid, dumb videos with like either escorts or porn stars or something standing there, just like your boy Ric Flair would have done in the 80s. And he addresses people. He's like, "What's up, virgin nerds?" Like, say what you want. He made himself relevant. And it made that knockout that much more satisfying because of how he agitated so many
Right.
people. But, sorry, go ahead.
Did he do a pre-fight video, or there was one put out by Eric Trump and Don Jr. or something like
That's
that?
the like he will.
Or he'll like sit at the. I
Yeah.
saw like him sitting at like the dais reading Triggered or something like that.
Everywhere he was going, he would just pull out that book and just be like, "I'm just reading this." Like that's
Like
part
if
of
he,
his act.
If he were in St. Louis today, he's like, "It's raining liberals out here."
He would.
Snowflakes, Travis.
Yeah, I see.
The Trump book is to me the funniest thing he's done. It's like sitting there and he'll just work it into the thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm just reading my favorite book here," and it's like, if you can't see that this is a work or an act,
I think I see that it's a work. I think that's the problem. Like when it's a work, you shouldn't be able to see it. And that's my thing.
okay.
And that's what it's all said
Here's
and
where
done.
Travis
And that's
grabs
how it's
one
supposed-
piece of
No,
information
it's not
that
one
is a-
piece of information. Look, it could be a work. I don't know why he thought it was necessary to call Brazil a dump. I don't know why it was necessary to call.
What? That's
the
what you
people.
do. That's what
I didn't
that's
think-
what wrestlers
think it
would
was
do.
necessary to call people from those places filthy animals. But hey,
'Cause it made
you
him a
know,
star.
it's whatever. And that to me is just cheap and unoriginal.
But you love professional wrestling.
But that's not what UFC has claimed to be. The UFC has cried literally since the inception that they wanted to be everything but the WWE. And now Dana White, because you look at a few pay-per-views, they're down here. You don't have your boy Conor necessary to lean on, so you're doing whatever you can to draw attention, and you're accepting people like Colby Covington, who does the old, all right, what's hot? What's big? What's trending? Oh, people like Trump. Well, I'll go do that. Look at me, guys. Oh, MAGA me and watch me do. It's unoriginal and it's cheap, and he got his ass kicked, and that's what should happen to people who do shit like that. It's silly. I don't know why. I don't know why doing something that everybody else already does makes it entertaining. Why would you copy something that somebody else has already originated and then try to pass it off as your own, and folks think that's riveting? How is that riveting? You talk about we're in the era of reboots and retreads, and we all hate it, but here comes Covington along to do something that 4 or 5 fighters have already done just because it's going to add a few extra zeros to his pocket. I guess. I don't see why that's cool, why that's
Well,
riveting.
you don't have to respect it.
I don't. I hate it. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
stupid,
fine.
and it makes the sport look like idiots.
That's fine. You don't have to respect.
I think UFC has
Would
always
you have
built
known
itself.
about this fight if and not enjoyed that knockout had he not done that? You
No,
wouldn't.
I think Covington's a good fighter. I think Covington's
he's
a good
incredible.
fighter.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not even
Usman's a great fighter. Build on that. Build on. That's what UFC used to do all the time. UFC's like, these are two great fighters with
So the
great stories,
problem-
great background. So build on that instead of manufacturing bullshit.
The problem is he was doing that. He is a good fighter. And I was hoping before he kind of got shown the door, I wanted Ben Askren to kill Covington. And I wanted Woodley. I want Woodley. Now Woodley might fight Covington because they're both coming off losses.
Right.
So with that, I didn't really care who won. I respect the crap out of Usman, but
Usman has absolutely been a monster.
yeah, and he tooled Tyron, which I was like, I didn't think that could ever happen.
Usman's had a hell of a year.
He has, and he's very good, and he's one of the best welterweights ever, you could probably say. But either way, so the Covington thing, he was literally on a winning streak, and they sat him down and said, "You're boring. We're going to cut you. This is the way it is. We don't like you, whatever." And then he goes out and he beats Damian Maia, who's amazing in Brazil, and he calls Brazilians filthy animals, gets them all mad, and then he goes on this stupid thing, and he's got this character. So I agree that they are just two very good. Even
The
that
thing-
fight, he lost that fight. That was a really good.
That was a good fight.
The thing is, especially in today's world, you don't get to run from a character necessarily.
Oh, and he may not.
If
yeah.
you make a concerted effort to be a certain way, that's who you are.
That's who you are.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
You don't get to say,
Oh,
I'm
that
doing a
was that little
character."
thing.
No,
I'm
that's
doing a character.
That's
Right.
bullshit.
That's
now.
bullshit.
Well, it is an act. I don't know what he personally feels. I don't care whatever.
Once you
but
involve certain people with your act, though, that's who you are, and he has done that.
I hope you hold that same energy for everyone else that you
Yeah.
look at. I hope you do.
I do, and I think I do.
That's what I
think,
say.
and that's my only thing is if Covington wanted
Well, wait,
to be.
does it fit my agenda?
Depends.
Okay,
You gotta
now
make sure. Put the
there it is.
asterisk.
Okay, there it
And
is.
I don't
You
look,
know me.
and
I'll be
I-
honest about
okay,
that.
and
good.
I don't have an issue. Look, shit talkers are shit talkers.
But
You're
my-
right. That's what sell tickets. I'm not disagreeing with
Yeah.
you that you need to have some type of personality. My thing is, why are you grafting
Because of the-
personality? And why are you're literally doing what? Why are you grifting
Well,
off
you've already-
somebody else's?
Because it worked.
Wait,
and it made it. And
Are
you
you
s-
grafting
and
or
you,
grifting?
Well,
Both.
Graffiting.
But I
What
think
is
But you've
happening
already
with you
said it,
today?
Travis. You've already said it, Travis, and you just brushed over it like it was nothing. It was
What?
to add a couple zeros. Oh, just a couple zeros off his paycheck.
no, I'm not
He
saying
went
that-
from maybe being cut and then having to be forced to go make 40 grand a fight somewhere else. He made $500,000.
I'm saying-
but
saying is-
if your character
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
involves incorporating people that are clearly racist and bigots, that is
Right.
your brand.
That is your brand.
Your brand
That
is
is your brand. Your
racism and
right.
bigotism.
But that's what I'm saying, and so that's what
and
I'm
you
saying.
can't run from that, is
and,
what I would say.
and
I don't think
and
he
we
will-
should
he'll
be
be
able
able
to allow
to.
people, especially athletes, professional athletes, just to pick it up when it's financially convenient. Look, we could do the same thing here. We are live. I could be the black conservative, and we could do MAGA shit, and it probably would get us 10, 20 times more views, would it not? Is that the type of show
You'd
you want to
probably be
be?
invited to the White House.
There's no doubt about it.
You'd
But
be
you
the
don't want
one
to.
guy
the White-
standing behind him over the left shoulder.
There was,
Right.
hey, it's me, hey, I'm in the Oval.
You just doing this a lot?
Yes, doing this. We could be that show, and we know we could probably make more money, and we could probably get more advertising, and could we not? But we don't
We
because
get
that's
that one mattress company would
Look,
love
don't
you.
get me started. But again, I think
Patriot mattresses.
I think what it does, but it tells me everything about his supporters and people who call themselves putting themselves under this umbrella is that you're willing to just do anything because it serves you. You don't care what it means or how it affects other people. You don't care that you having the platform that you have could be considered very bigoted, very racist in some of the things you say and who you support. You don't care. At the end of the day, how does it serve me, Colby Covington? And instead of being maybe sitting down with a PR person, sitting down with a marketing person, coming up with a better personality, what does he do? What everybody else doing on social media? Oh, they doing the MAGA thing? Okay, I'm going to do that. Hey, filthy animals, you all are stupid. Dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. Look at me. Ooh. And now I got to watch, Colby Covington do the MAGA shit.
But then
'cause
you got to. You wouldn't
Colby
know
and
who
the
it
other
was.
14 other fighters currently in the UFC
Was
doing
that-
the MAGA shit.
Was that
This is
Hooba
great.
Dooba Dooba or Doobie Doobie Doobie
Dooby-dooby-dooba.
Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer. Forget about the UFC fighter. Did you hear about the guy doing a MAGA character in the White House? Tom Brown, it's me, a MAGA, me, a Mario.
I saw Trumpy Bear at the Army Navy game.
I did as well.
Man,
he got a good
those
ovation.
hats,
Big
those
ovation.
hats are fucking ugly.
They're hideous. That's the thing. Now, here's the thing. Now, this
It's
is where
so fucking
Trump.
ugly.
This is where Trump, and I've heard he's put together some plans to increase the African American outreach going into 2020. But if he really wanted to take an extra step, go to the folks at Lids. Have them design his MAGA hats.
Yeah.
It's an American business. It's an urban business.
The-
Those hats are when they are on his head, like
Yeah,
they smash his hair down.
The crown is too tall.
It's just too tall. It makes you like Elmer Fudd. It's
Yeah.
just,
I'm not saying I support it, but whatever they do is just for whatever reason
does
it's
that-
working.
But here's the thing: is
The lettering
is that it?
The lettering is gaudy, and
It
it's
is,
like,
but
it,
that's
it looks poorly made.
That's the thing I'm talking about,
It's
Chris.
like it's all. Like,
Well, look, if you want, if
ugh.
that's your brand, that's your brand.
Yeah, well,
My
that
thing
is. I mean, poorly made.
Poorly made. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So if you're gonna be quality, perfect, great,
It's kind of
all
the truth.
things,
It's
it
the
is.
truth.
It is. It is the hat tells you
It's-
everything that
yeah,
you need to know.
It's nothing more than
It's
a slogan.
simple.
There's nothing besides that.
It's not
You can't
unique.
think past that.
It's not good looking. It's not
Yeah.
creative. It's gaudy. It's tacky.
Yeah.
It stands out for no reason. I feel terrible for folks in this city because they're big Cardinal fans, and every time they probably walk around town with their red hat on, black people are like, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, it's an STO hat. Okay, just have to check. Like, that's what it is. Every time we walk around town, you see a red hat, like, all right, he'll slow your ass down.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. They're hideous looking hats. But he got a great ovation. He said apparently in the locker rooms that he is going to, I don't know, who knows? He can probably do it. Allow servicemen the opportunity to go pro before they have to, I guess, serve their time. I guess he was saying you guys can have a full waiver if you're eligible to go into the draft, the professional draft, not the military draft.
It's like what?
And so I think that got a big cheer out of the folks in Philadelphia. It was in Philadelphia, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Navy went on to win. Navy, top 25 program. How about them? Not bad for a service academy.
Yeah, they've had success there in recent years.
So, yeah.
So good for them. So Travis loves Colby Covington and wishes him the best in his
I
recovery.
look, broken jaw. That fucking sucks. Don't get me wrong, Usman. I hope, and it has been. I want Usman to continue to get the story. I hate that Usman's celebration has to be attached to knocking out the Trump guy, because Usman fought a very good fight himself, and that was a vicious knockout, probably one of the best, top 5 this year. That
was a TKO.
It was-
he didn't knock him out.
but that shot, like, you literally saw Covington's jaw go to the 3rd row.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
there's a
that was
photo of it.
gross.
Oh,
Like,
they're just
that was
"Ah."
cartoonish how
Yeah.
his jaw looked.
Well, he had
So-
his mouth open when he got hit, didn't he? He was kind of like
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 5th round, and you're just taking shot. I mean,
Ooh, that's gotta. Oh God, I can't imagine knowing when you broke it, because you can tell in the moment he knew almost instantly. Fuck, he just broke my jaw.
he kept fighting too.
And he
and I was
kept
like,
fighting.
"Good
So
God,"
ugh.
yeah.
I don't
Now-
know what that
Now,
kind
was
of.
he complaining afterwards on the
He
Twitter
put out
tweets?
What'd he say?
He tweeted out. He said fake stoppage, fake eye put. Like he complained, which is I think he's still in character when he's doing that, because you can't. That was
So
that
now
TKO was fine by
So
all.
now he's a
accords.
racist bigot bitch.
That's just like
I
take
like
your L,
So
keep
that's
it
his
moving.
brand.
That's
Now
it,
what
but he is on
happens-
brand.
It's true. And what if he parlays that into a professional wrestling career?
He probably will.
No, I think he will,
I
for
think
sure.
I don't know.
No,
I want
you
to
don't
bet.
have to. You don't have to love it. You
No,
know,
I
get it.
want a better brand of villain. If you're going to play heel, can you play the heel that 14 other
You
heels
think
haven't already played?
Killmonger's a villain? He might have been right.
He could have been.
You just say that. You've never even
I've
seen
never
the movie.
seen the movie.
February.
I'm going to watch it in February.
Good for you. For
We'll
Black
check-
History
yeah,
Month.
yeah.
Really, really appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. We're rocking on the YouTube channel, Facebook, all that. Be sure to share. Tell your friends about this. You can download it on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts as well. Big thanks to Tech Electronics for helping us fill out our studio. They've got jobs available in the St. Louis area. Wonderful family-owned company right here in St. Louis, techelectronics.com for more information. We're going to take a break, let Gardner get his menthol on. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. The Snowmageddon that Travis previously wasn't aware of will begin shortly, I'm sure. So quick break. Be right back. Welcome back to the show. You should have seen Travis's eyes when he saw those big snowflakes hitting the ground out here in Grand Center in St. Louis. Travis, criminally unaware, but we're having a good show, so I'm glad you weren't quite aware of the amazing weather that we have ahead of us for the next 10 hours.
I really thought we had gotten past the worst of it, and it looks like it's going to be one hell of a day.
It is.
And to the point, look, we are not necessarily anti-snow people. We're anti-idiots, and idiots tend to have a field day in weather like this. They are the reasons why we, as a city, can't get from one point to the other because they're being morons on the highway. It's not a matter of just getting to where you have to go. It's getting there cautiously, and that's what people try to do when the weather is like this.
Maybe
and then
I'll,
there are a handful of idiots who just don't give a damn.
Man, maybe I'll get a hold of Chris Davis over at KSDK and see if he's going sledding in Forest Park again.
Alyssa Toomey just tweeted that Art Hill empty right now. People sleeping in.
It's a good photo day.
It is a
for
good
Forest
photo
Park.
day. It is a very pretty photo day for.
You gonna hit the sledding over there?
No, I don't sled. I like to go over there and just, if you find some of the water areas and get pictures there, it's kind of nice. It's serene.
I'm surprised the sledding's not picked up. It'll pick up around 10, I bet.
Maybe today's the day where I could break in and sneak into the tunnels of the River de Pere.
Oh,
and
you
into
don't have
Forest
to do
Park.
that today.
I
Gary.
I don't have to, but would today be the day to do it?
Not necessary. I wouldn't go that far.
Now that we're dealing with weather, we do have some tweets from a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one in particular, Angela Smith, who has been on the show the past 2 weeks to play Dogs on Film in the absence of, or on film, in the absence of Dr. Edmund Yako, as he's been in Hawaii. Angela had. I bought a frozen pizza in case I get too snow day hammered to make chicken and dumplings. Hashtag STL weather, hashtag snow day drinking. And I did see later she ended up making the pizza, not chicken and dumplings.
Good for her.
So that means she drank a lot, maybe.
Why not?
Yeah.
These are the days that I really would like to drink.
Yeah. Do you guys have a snow day meal? Do you get into that at all?
Tonight it's BLTs for me. I was going to do BLTs last night, but I ate enough at Taco Circus that I only had one meal yesterday.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, I got to be like 8 o'clock. I'm like, I could have a little something, but why not? No, I'm not going to. So I think it's going to be BLTs tonight.
I used to be big on the ordering and going to pick up food if I'm out.
No, you jerk.
If I
Oh, you pick it up.
Pick it up. You know,
Okay.
no, I would. And I was going to say that. Like, I don't want to, because I can only imagine what the pizza drivers have to do today. But yeah, I try not to put that type of pressure on them. So I'll try to find something at a grocery store generally. But I don't have a meal per se.
You're not going to go with a chili or
I would love. God, you know
any
what?
kind of
You just-
slow
you
roasted
just-
pork.
You just hit the nail. Daddy's gonna have to get some chili.
Chili
Daddy
would be
loves a little
good.
chili.
Are you one of these people? You do have something kind of crazy, like a secret ingredient in your chili. You put straight up sugar in it, don't you?
That's a little sweet and low.
I always
Put
add
sweet and low in his chili.
I add sriracha to mine now all the
There
time.
you go.
Yeah, that's just good.
Yeah.
Did you know that when it snows, Travis's eyes become larger and the light that you shine can be seen?
I think that's how it works. I'm not
It's
seeing
from the black sheep.
Black sheep. That's not how any of this works.
Huh. I'm trying to think of other. Remember one year, maybe the black sheep, my brother, and I don't know. This would be. I knew Travis at the time. There was an epic snow. It shut down the University of Missouri for the first time since like the 1800s. You remember that in like 2006? It was ridiculous. Where like all of Columbia, like 4 feet of snow, insane. I want to say after I went and trekked around, like you could barely even walk through the stuff. We made apple cider and Captain Morgan mixed together, but we put it in a big pot, like heated it up on a thing, and it was super sticky and messy. But to this day, my brother was like, "Guess what I'm making for winter drinks?"
Yeah.
That was a hell of a snow day, and it was probably pizza involved too.
That sounds pleasant.
It was. It was
Like
a good
today,
time.
days like today or yesterday are good drinking days to me.
Mhm.
Like, because there's really nothing else to do. How are you going to pass the time?
Right.
Let's just make our brains stop.
Yep.
Let's
just do
take
that.
shots.
Watch
Let's
the
take
Christmas
drinks.
episode of The Office.
You can do that. I would just get drunk. That's what I would recommend to people.
And now
Not
that you're
people like
sober
me.
for 6 years, Where does that brain go? Travis, do we have any suggestions for him? You could read.
Yeah. I got 2 books.
I feel like everybody's answer now is CBD for everything.
There's a
Like, I'm
CBD
bored. Oh,
place
CBD.
in the Central West End. I could probably go stop by there today. I need to refill my prescription for my my anxiety pills.
Okay.
I need to refill that. I forgot to do so into the weekend, so I've gone 2 days without.
Oh,
Have
shit.
you noticed?
No, I've been okay.
It's a weird mix, or it's a weird conversation to have if somebody takes. How would you describe these? I want to say altering, and I don't mean in a bad way. Mood altering, or
I take an antidepressant.
right.
yeah.
So if people take these medications and that makes them whole, and it makes them who you know them, who they are, right? When they're not taking it, it's a delicate conversation to be like, do you need to take your medicine? Like, because sometimes people just have bad days too. So you don't want to stigmatize that or be rude about it.
Right.
But also, have you taken your medicine?
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple, but it's a horrible conversation to have.
So I need to get that.
So
I
Gardner,
actually
have you-
need.
Have you taken your medicine?
I have not. I need to though. So maybe CBD can stem that until I get to the
There you go.
pharmacy later today.
Yeah.
I need to get a flu shot. I normally don't get a flu shot,
I never do. Do you?
but Travis,
I've never gotten a flu shot.
okay,
I've
I
never
haven't
gotten a flu
either.
shot.
Yeah.
But I'm going to this year
Some people swear
You're gonna
by
do it? You're
My-
gonna do the flu shot this year?
because my grandma's been on me, and I've been trying to push it away
Sure.
because I'm like I never got one, but I figured with taking public transit as much as I do now, it probably makes
Exposed
sense
to
to
more?
do so.
Yeah, definitely.
So
That makes sense.
with that in the equation now, I'm like, well, actually, it probably does make sense.
It's gonna incapacitate you for at least probably a week once you get the shot.
Will it?
I know some
I
people
don't
who
think
have
it
gotten
does.
sick immediately afterwards.
That does happen. Like, you can get sick, but then because there are
I know the
there-
cat was talking about it. I heard him talk about it recently that he got it. He immediately got sick for a bit, like for 4 or 5 days.
Oh,
that would not be.
but I don't
Good.
want that. I just heard the strain is really bad this go around too, and
I've
Real.
never
I don't
gotten
wanna
it.
deal with that.
Not to. I'm not. I don't knock people who don't get. I've never gotten it in my entire life, and I've been able to avoid flu for the most part. Knock on wood. Obviously, it only takes one time for you to really feel like shit. But to each his own. Go for it. I say whatever. If you can do it, go for it.
I'm just thinking with public transit, me being on there so much now that maybe it does make sense. It's
No, it
kind of like
does.
if you're a teacher, you're
Yeah.
bound to get sick or
Yes.
something
Oh
because you're
my
around so many
gosh.
kids. So I'm like, if I'm around people, especially people I don't know, and what made me think of it, there was a guy behind me coughing the other day, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe this does make sense now.
No, it
Yeah,
does.
I'm trying to think too. The times that I must have been like a kid when I got it or something, but I've never gotten the flu shot. I don't. It's probably just traditional, right? If your mom made you do it, you
I
just keep
think if your
doing it.
parents did it, you probably are still doing it to this day.
But grandma is just
Never did
on
as
me
a
about
kid, yeah.
everything. So
Yeah,
Well,
it's
grandma
brutal.
loves you.
yeah,
She
she
wants-
does. And but this is her mo is, why don't you need a colonoscopy.
Yeah, you do.
You're overdue for a
You need
colonoscopy.
your colonoscopy. Got to get that. Let the
I am
man-
overdue for
You
that.
got to let the man get up there and get your butt.
Yeah,
Get up in there and get the butt.
I've had
Can we
two.
live stream that?
No, we
If
can't.
you want, I've had 2 colonoscopies and I think 3 rectal exams in my
All right,
lifetime.
let's
in these
talk
40
sports
years.
or something. I don't need to
Nah, we don't.
hear about your poop.
You
shoot.
mentioned cat. It made me think of this. It's
Mhm.
not the cat, but it's.
Jim Hayes.
We need to talk to Dr. Ed on Wednesday because was it the Board of Aldermen passed maybe a new bill where they've outlawed declawing cats in the city of St. Louis?
That's illegal to declaw cats?
Yeah.
Why would that be, Chris?
They're calling. They would probably. I don't know the law, but from what I've seen, it would say it's torturous or unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems like we should probably tackle some other things first.
Which people I was talking about this with brought up.
But just like everything else, the loudest voices get heard, and people, people that are obsessed with or have an affinity for cats, if they were loud and got this done, then more power to them. Personally,
But
whatever.
I do have, to be consistent, I have demanded that local government be able to multitask as well.
Correct, right?
Like you
we
can
don't
prioritize, but you have to be able to accomplish things even if you're not getting what you want done immediately. You still have to be able to do other things along the way. So
Right.
that has to happen, or else then what are you doing?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I had Rottweilers growing up, and like they're traditionally like you chop a Rottweiler's tail, and that was done because like they would pull things, and then it wasn't functional. And we're talking like hundreds of years ago what they were used for. But really, there's no other than the look. It's just money that you're spending to make a dog look a certain way. When I were growing up, I didn't think twice about that. Like, this is what you did. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to get a Rottweiler, I'm like, I don't need to get his tail docked. Like, it's whatever, right? So, like, yeah, I get it, and I'm fine with people working hard to get something that they don't like outlawed in an area. That's fine. Do I think that was top of the list of things that should be taken care of?
I
I
we
absolutely
have a
don't.
legit topic for Dr. Ed on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
and we'll have to
and to
Skype
talk
him
about
in or
Hawaii.
Skype him in
Is he
or-
back?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll check with him. Yeah, I'll check with him.
'Cause I
Now,
thought he might
I
be
actually,
back.
I would think too, and there's no real function, and this is, so dogfighting people do this, so there's less to grab, but like docking or trimming up dogs' ears, like to me, that's worse than, maybe it's not worse than declawing. Maybe declawing is like really bad for a cat.
I'm
technically, but
ignorant,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
yeah. Either way, it's,
Maybe we'll ask
there
the
you have
expert.
it. But yeah, I think the multitasking thing is a very good point.
Yes.
Like, I'm not mad if these people got this done. I am mad if it would take away from other pressing duties. So we'll see. We'll also see how they treat this snow today. Were you spending too much time on this cat declawing? Now my street's not going to get plowed.
Yeah.
Do you think that those two
Fair.
correlate?
It doesn't matter if you want to have outrage. That's a good way to go about
That's
it.
a good
though.
way to do it.
I wanted to bring something up real quick for Travis, because I heard this, I guess it was last Friday. A radio legend, a radio icon retired.
The great Tom Joyner. Calling it quits. I
There's a
was-
shot from
Is
his
that from his
cruise.
Are you in that photo, Trav?
Shoot, I may actually
It
be
was
in
sponsored
that
by
photo.
Denny's. The
That's
fantastic voyage.
amazing. What
Usually
now
sponsored by
on
Denny's
these
or Ford.
On these
Oh.
cruises, would an ethnicity outside of Black American clean up or be
I'm
ostracized?
trying to look at the picture here and see if we can find one.
Like if you're
Oh no! If
the
you
if you're the
uh,
only white dude or you're the only Asian dude on that boat, are you going to be lifted up? Or are
you
you gonna
won't be lifted up.
Okay.
You will.
Will you be looked at like you're up to something?
I will say this.
You're just a single white guy,
Wow,
and you buy
Tom
a ticket to
Joyner-
the Tom Joyner cruise.
That would-
Are you gonna be eyeballing that person, Travis?
Man, if you are
Listen to this.
if you are a white guy on the Tom Joyner cruise, if you aren't one of the sponsors, you
You're gonna be
you
getting
understand. You
eyeballed.
understand. Like these are people who plan their year around this cruise. These are older black people who love to have a good time, and they are not about. Look, they plan for this. Like these folks plan
Okay.
for this, and so they plan because they want to get away from what they have to endure often.
What do you
5
endure?
days after
What
the
if they have
week.
they're friendly with white people.
That's fine.
So
but
if I show up as a single white Caucasian male,
Ooh, don't show up being single, man.
First of
Please
all.
at least have a black wife.
First of
at least
all.
have a black wife.
First
or
of
at
all.
least have a Carnival Cruise polo on that makes it look like you work on the boat.
oh, like so you want me to be the help?
Yeah, that's the only way. Look, man, I'm trying to just explain it to you.
No, I
Black
think
people,
I think you're off.
they go on these vacations to get away from y'all. They do the time now. If they wanted to be, if they would have went to Vegas if they wanted you around. They would have went to Miami Beach if they wanted you around. They go on the Tom Joyner Morning Show cruise specifically to get away from a certain group of
You think
individuals.
this is all about getting away from the whites?
It is 90% of the reason why people go on that cruise.
How empty is that pool on the Tom Joyner cruise?
Man, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's when we show everybody our swimming skills.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right. There's specific rules for the Tom Joyner cruise. They don't fill that over 2 feet. That's a wading pool on this one.
I think there were some shout outs online from several black media members. I think I saw a tweet from Bomani. He had a thread going, I believe, in regards to his appreciation for what Tom Joyner meant to not only his career, but to that of others. 25 years on the air, signing off this past Friday. I'm trying to see. Like, I guess you can almost say what Stern is to you guys. I guess Joyner
Oh no,
is to
Stern for
ours.
everyone
I
kicked
don't
open the
give a
doors and never looked back.
But
so
Tom-
black, white, whatever, you bow down to Stern. When it
But I
comes
think
to-
what Tom Joyner was able to accomplish, not only just through radio syndication nationally,
huge,
but what he was
right?
able to do sponsor-wise. Like, he was one of the very few radio programs that could go to the big Fortune 500 companies and get them to invest not only in his show, but get them to invest into historically black colleges, which is why he has the cruise, so he can raise money for scholarships to send these students to
find
these
out-
HBCs around the country.
You
So-
find out that all the money raised goes to confetti cannons to give to black moms whenever their kid graduates.
Yes, that's specifically
That's how
what
it
it's for.
goes. That's where
But Tom Joyner has meant a lot in the radio community, the black community. He's been the
Huge.
voice. Like, look, if you are a candidate and you want to speak to a black audience, a massive black audience, you had to go through Tom Joyner, and Tom Joyner didn't cut any corners, didn't cut anyone any favors, didn't do it for Obama. Obama had to work and go on Tom Joyner and go to these outlets to truly show the community what he was about. But Tom Joyner has been a part of the community for a very long time. And as far as I understand it, he's still going to continue to raise money for the historically black colleges around the country. I believe he's still going to continue to have the cruise. And salute to him. The man's an icon. He's a legend. Couldn't have been nicer when we met him on the cruise. And everybody I've come across that were on the boat absolutely loved working for him. So salute to him and his amazing career. Just something that's just improbable, especially for a black radio
Did
personality.
you get laid on that cruise?
what's the demographic? Is it like 40 to 60-year-old?
I would say when
black
I went,
folks?
I think the youngest person on the trip may have been in their late 20s.
Okay, but did you stand out being younger?
Not stand out completely,
were
but
you
it was
trying to
it was definitely there's a majority of people 45, 50 plus on the boat.
Were there any Stellas trying to get their groove back from you?
There were several, and I will not comment whether or
Oh,
not they
were
got
you
their
like Tay
groove back.
Diggs?
I was Tay digging, if
Black,
you know what I mean.
Black
It was
Sheep has a very
a
important
chunkier
question.
version of him. Very chunky version of Tay.
Black Sheep wants to know if the cruise ship's tags were expired.
Black Sheep. Give me camera 3.
Oh, man.
a second.
You son of a bitch.
see right now.
You racist as hell.
Cruise ship with expired tags. You get pulled over because there's too much bass playing in the ship. The Coast Guard's like, you're going to need to turn that down. Why are those windows tinted?
Oh,
God.
The whole ship.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, man. Coast Guard's here.
I had fun on that. That was a lot of fun.
Tom Joyner cruise. I disagree. I think I could infiltrate, and I would.
It's not
I
what
would
you
do-
think
I
it
would do
is. It's
just
not what you
fine.
think it is. You don't understand, like, black people from all
You think
over.
the
This ain't
whole- You think the whole point is
Alright.
to exit white
you think,
society?
You think it's cute. You think that shit cute.
Not cute.
You
I
wanna
think
show
I'd
up?
go and have a hell
you
of a
met
time.
Have you met black people from Louisiana? Have you met black folks from
Actually-
Southern Texas?
Actually, there's a young lady recording a podcast here.
Have
from
you
Louisiana.
met Florida blacks? Have you ever met the Virginia
Miami-
blacks?
Miami or Central Florida?
You met look, I'm just saying, you may be cool with the blacks in the Lou, but the blacks elsewhere,
They're not here for me.
they ain't here for you, Chris. I'm just saying, man.
I
They
disagree.
go on this vacation to get away. If they see you and you not serving them their food, they ain't try to have you mingle with them. They ain't try to have you socialize with them. They left for a reason, man. Can I tell y'all something? I'm gonna tell y'all what's really going on. I'm gonna give you some insight on this
what a-
snow day into the black community. Look, a
we
lot of
need
these
to-
black people put up with y'all 5 days out of the fucking week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. They do it because at the end of the day, they have to take care of their own business. They ain't trying to see y'all ass after hours. They ain't trying to see your ass on the weekend. And they sure as hell ain't trying to see your ass on Tom Joyner Morning Crew. Patti LaBelle gonna be there. Mariah Carey gonna be there.
What?
You're gonna have Diana Ross.
Wait,
She was
who?
there.
Mariah Carey? I mean,
Yes, Diana Ross.
She's singing All I Want for Christmas. Is
Look,
You?
And we want to enjoy our black legends. We want to enjoy our community
But what
without having your white ass all up in there, man. Yes, it's for us. We got to have something for us, man. We need one thing. Y'all in everything. We invite y'all to every damn party. We want one
don't.
event
No, you
to
don't.
the...
No.
You don't invite me to the cookout in Forest Park.
Man,
I'm trying to get
you're
there.
getting there. You have to earn your way. But you ain't going to just simply just show up, man. Y'all show up to everything. Y'all are everything. Every fucking thing. Every time we turn the TV, there your white ass is. Every time I go watch a movie, there your white ass is. Go to a food court, more white ass. Go to a comedy club, more white ass. We want one 8-day vacation where all we see are black and brown people. That's all we want. And if you are white, you need to be cleaning our clothes, cooking our food, watching our kids. Otherwise, get out of our face.
Plot twist. Because of this act of aggression, I'm going to go and where all the black folks' cars are parked, I'm going to break into all their cars
Okay, fair
while they're
enough.
on the Tom
Good
Jordan
luck.
White Cruise.
Oh,
Good
that's
luck.
racist
Well,
as hell.
oh,
Good
what do you think of that?
Good
You
luck.
want to talk about flipping?
Look, y'all sit up here. You got your concerts at Busch Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, they do.
You got your Garth Brooks at the Dome.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got your Rascal Flats Bar and Grill.
No,
No,
was
it's-
going to
it's
get
not gonna
posted.
happen,
mob
no.
got
there.
involved.
There was the mob story with that.
All we ask is just one trip. Just leave us the fuck alone. Just for this one trip.
Oh, I can't wait
Just
to
one trip.
burglarize
If
all
you-
those.
that's fine. You can
those,
try to-
those Dodge Chargers.
But the beauty is that's also black
What
elite.
is, what is
So
this?
those black folks,
Sorry,
some of them are
sorry,
police
I-
chiefs.
those-
Some of them are major attorneys. So be careful. You could break into a car. You could break into an exec at Ford Motors. Don't do it.
What is this, a dealership that only sells Nissan Altimas?
That's what it is.
Whenever I do it, too, I dress up like those, like they portray robbers in the Home Alarm commercials.
Oh, yeah.
A
Very
menacing looking
menacing,
white
yeah.
guy with a sock cap, and like most robbers don't look.
And
It's every single criminal's a white
And
guy.
credit to the amazing white employees of Carnival Cruise. They understand this. They recognize, look, this is Tom Joyner's cruise. They ain't trying to see a lot of us. Let's make sure they're served.
Is
kind
the,
of food
what's the
is it?
menu?
Oh,
Is the
fu-
menu
oh,
a
it's
special
so
menu?
delicious. No, it's just it's a Carnival Cruise menu. It's very delicious. But at the same time, they also recognize, look, we need to stock up on the baked chicken.
How
We
many?
need to stock up on the macaroni.
How many
They know
Long
what
Island
time it
ice?
is.
How many Long Island iced teas are served? Long Beach teas.
Man, nah. See, this is the other thing. Them grown. Like I said, these are grown black people with a lot of money, and so they drinking the
Cognac.
hard shit. No, they drinking. They ain't drinking. No, they drinking the hard. They
Louis
drinking.
Trey.
Give me the blue label, baby. They blue labeling it up. And they all, like I said, they plan for this vacation. They ain't skimping. They ain't cutting corners. They bring it back, and here's how you know this is the most black thing ever. And I'm gonna really give you some insight. You know it's a black trip because everybody's coming back with a bottle of white Hennessy.
Oh.
Because you can only get white Hennessy outside the States. So every black person that goes on a cruise or leaves the country, they're coming back with at least 2 bottles of white Hennessy because you can't get anywhere else. And I tell you what, well worth it.
Uh-huh.
I got to admit, because I was like, man, that's so stereotypical, man. My dad was looking at me. He's like, really? You're going to get the white Hennessy? I was like, it's right here. And it's what do you want me to do?
Did your dad get some too?
Everybody on the damn shit got some. This one guy, and like I said, these people got bread. This one guy had a case. He had literally like, where you got to get the crowbar,
Yeah.
and you're like, he ordered,
Oh, wow.
he spent,
he
Like
had
what
not
they
a
put the
case.
Raptors in Jurassic Park.
yes.
He had a
yes.
crate.
He had a crate.
Yeah.
And he spent,
He had a gondola.
he was, and I think this guy actually, I discovered I think he was an executive vice president for Tyler Perry Studios, and he bought like a whole crate. It was like
Tyler
about
Perry playing in that white Henny?
$3,000. So it's very
Now, Big Mike raises a point.
Okay.
Talking about the staff. Of the
okay.
boat.
Big Mike's got questions.
Now,
He's
Big
been in the
Mike,
service
he's
industry
been in
before.
the
Big Mike,
hospitality
he knows the
industry at
hospitality
all
industry.
levels.
Yes.
The man's got his graduate
what
degree.
is,
and
what
all
is
this
Mike's question? I'm curious.
Now, Mike brings up a point that maybe the employees anticipate the tipping to not be the
Here's
best
the
on
thing.
a Tom Jordan cruise.
And that's the other thing.
Please address that.
No, we will, and that's a very good question.
Is it built in?
Again, it is. Some
If
of
you-
it.
built
If you
into
wanted
the
more money,
pricing?
then make it the price. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I wasn't gonna say that, but I have heard that.
Did you feel like you were hanging out with one of your aunts? or
No, the tipping actually was solid. In fact, like I said, because people plan for this thing year in and year out, because people don't just go once. Like my dad is now gone since I've gone with him 2 other times. And because people plan for it, they plan to take care of the staff.
Does this
and-
continue in his radio retirement?
That's what I'm curious. I haven't read up on it. I would hope it
Because if
does.
not, then there's an opportunity for somebody else
Look,
to step in.
look. If he's got
The
to do it,
Breakfast Club cruise.
look, he's got to do it, or Ricky Smiley's
Smiley
got to
in
do
the
it.
morning
Smiley is,
cruise.
and Ricky Smiley's show is taking over Joiner's
his
syndication.
okay.
Yeah.
So it would be Ricky Smiley would make the most sense.
It would make sense, but I hope Tom Joyner keeps it going because, like I said, you get an opportunity to see a lot of legendary black acts from the 80s and 90s on these trips, and you don't only get to see them perform, but you get to socialize with them as well. So that's pretty cool. Like I got a chance to talk and socialize over a buffet with Robert Townsend. Like he's one of the greatest comedic minds like of a generation. The man basically opened the door for Keenan and just so many others, many black actors.
That's like I got to talk at a buffet with Bob Euchre once.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So I hope he keeps it up. But Tom Joyner, honestly, if you're not familiar with him, I suggest you look him up. Look at some of the work he's done over the years, the impact he's had on the culture. It's a sad, but the thing that we've heard recently, perhaps through Twitter, is that give them their flowers while they're alive. Show appreciation and love for people now while you can, as opposed to the thing we do often is when they die, then our outpouring of love and support comes. And so the thing with Tom Joyner that I was happy with is that he was able to see everyone show appreciation and love for him. And he's able to now go off into the sunset and retire and live a very happy, deserved life.
How many bottles of sour mix are consumed on that Tom Joyner cruise?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got black women. Black women, they on vacation. Black women vacation. Like if there's one thing, like black women just, they have a plan. Like they have itineraries. They know what they're going to purchase. They know what clubs they're going
Now,
to.
you've confirmed on the show before, as a server, it did feel like you were running what we used to call suicides in basketball. Free throw line back, half court back,
Yes.
free throw line
Yes.
back, full court back, right?
Right.
You have admitted that when waiting on black women in particular, it did feel a little bit like that.
I did.
Is that amplified throughout the cruise times 10? Like, does Carnival have to triple staff?
No, and
because their wait staff's tired because I need a different fork, not this fork.
No, and you have to see, like, Carnival Cruise, because they sell that cruise out every year, Carnival bends over backwards for Tom Joyner.
Got it.
And so, but again, since people go often, they almost build a relationship with some of the staff that return. So,
I'm sure plenty of people have relationships with this.
now that's a whole nother conversation. Now, there are some people who
Would
be
you
showing
date a
up.
girl who was like, yeah, I was a Carnival Cruise hostess specifically for the Tom Joyner cruise, 7 years running?
Oh, boy.
Would you trust her, or
I would need some more background information.
how well did you know these guests?
Right.
Like that?
Man, it was, man,
Do they do the limbo on this?
they do everything on this thing. There was a
The dollar
yoga-
dance. Have you ever seen the dollar dance?
There is something to do. I have seen the dollar dance. There is
Cent,
something to
5
do.
cent, 10 cent dollar.
There is something to do all day long on that ship, and whether it's concert, there's yoga, there's
Battle
comedy
rap
shows.
events.
There are no battle rap
no.
events, man. Stop
I
being
would-
so
I would-
stereotypical.
I'd be down for a battle rap event.
There's, it's
So Eminem could be there.
he will not.
if they want the best,
How about that for the next Tom Joyner cruise? A battle rap between Nick Cannon and Eminem.
I would go on that cruise.
They should do a Family Feud on there.
What if they reveal that Nick Cannon and Eminem worked us, and this was all just to sell out a giant cruise,
Ah,
a wild and out cruise
Here's
featuring Eminem and Nick Cannon?
Here's Bomani Jones of ESPN. I learned so much about building a community around content from Tom Joyner. That show was so good at finding commonality with a diverse audience. Yes, there is diversity within blackness, and serving many wants and needs simultaneously is hard to be entertaining, informative, and educational without ever talking down to your audience. Tom did that, day after day for decades. I wish him and everyone who's worked on that show the best. They've done a lot for a lot of people. They have. They've done a lot for the comedy
Man,
scene. They've done a
somebody
lot for.
say something that nice about me ever. Jeez, that was well
but
said.
but you can't deny his impact. Kamala Harris also sent out a tweet saying he's a legend, critical role in building community and lifting up all voices. He is Black history. It was an honor to be a guest in the Tom Jordan Morning Show, but also to be able to call him a friend. Enjoy retirement. So he was, like I said, very prominent in the community. A guy.
He looks like he enjoys himself.
And he was actually one of the very first black stations to say mute R. Kelly. Once it was made clear that it was R. Kelly was doing some very, oh boy, Tom Jordan was like, oh, ain't no problem for me. Cut it. We won't ever have R. Kelly on our show, any of his music. So he stood at the forefront. Now he wasn't always on the same page with the community, but that's, as Bomani pointed out, there's diversity within the community. It's going to happen. But he always showed love. He always showed respect, and you have to just appreciate that. And again, it's very difficult for when he started for a black man to build a brand through radio. It's hard to build a brand, period,
Let me
in
know if you
radio.
figure it out.
Exactly. So to do it as a black man and to then do it as a nationally syndicated show and to again have the respect of a vast black audience, very, very difficult to do, and it truly is an accomplishment.
There it is. Real quick, they are closed today, but our friends at St. Louis Counseling Services can help. If you're seeking counseling in the St. Louis area, they are your resource. Check out stlouiscounseling.org online, where you can watch listen to the podcast, Mental Health Matters. St. Louis Counseling Services has been around since 1955. Businesses, schools, individuals alike, they're here to support you and yours. stlouiscounseling.org for more information. Another quick shout out to, we mentioned Dr. Ed. He's in here every Wednesday. Hillside Animal Hospital. They're a wonderful facility. If you're having issues, sometimes your dogs can get the salt in their paws and stuff. Keep an eye out. There's a little tip from Dr. Ed to make sure your dogs and pets that go outside keep their paws clean. When you got a bunch of salt out there, you can kind of mess with them. So don't let that happen. And I'll keep Travis's toes clean.
Thank you.
Out there. That's the kind of support I offer.
Chris, we've talked about a great band in Tom Joyner, and I figured that the only way to...
Mega cruise. We could do a mega cruise.
That would be so troubling. Oh, God, I just thought about that on the seas, and I would just
Well, maybe
hope
there's-
Aquaman would come up from the sea and drown everybody.
I was going
on
to say,
the boat.
maybe the boat sinks.
All right, partner. You're coming dangerously close to becoming a domestic terrorist, and I'm worried about you.
Well, I'm glad you brought up domestic terrorists because there
I
is
know.
one who recently gave an interview with the New York Post, and I'm curious to get you gentlemen's
What?
feedback about it. It looks like it's about to be the Harvey Weinstein rehabilitation tour. He did an interview with the New York Post, Chris.
He did.
In an interview with the New York Post
And
from a room in the luxury wing of a New York hospital, the disgraced movie mogul
Aye,
talks
aye,
about
aye.
his charity work, praises himself for getting Gwyneth Paltrow a big payday, and shoots down speculation he is faking an illness to get sympathy.
Do
Yes,
you-
boys and girls, you knew this was probably coming.
Is this advised that he does this? 'Cause, okay, so he just settled with one or a few
I think he's
accusers,
settled. I don't know.
but there's still an impending trial.
There's still an impending trial, and he
Ugh.
did not settle with all of his accusers,
Okay.
and there are still separate lawsuits that are out there. It's
Oh, yeah,
reported.
and the civil and criminal are separate.
Right, and there has been reported that some women, some of the victims, are settling. The amount I keep hearing or reading is between 25 and 45 million. It fluctuates. It seems like, given the report, but there seems to be a settlement in the works that is going to. I think it has to be finalized by a judge before it can actually be official. But yeah, and I guess now that his trial, since it's right around the corner, this is his way of getting out. Because he feels, of course, he's been prosecuted in the court of public opinion.
Do you tell him to do that, or do you tell him to just lay low?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I don't think laying low doesn't bolster his case at all. I think he just realized, let me go to a
He's-
media-friendly.
He's now going Bill Cosby.
Yes. Which is honestly, I don't know where else he could have gone. Like I said, I don't think. I mean, I would
Just
love
tell
for
him
him
to
just to
shut
shut up, but you knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So this is his way of, I guess, bringing himself back to relevancy. I
Well,
think,
it's obvious he thinks fondly of himself.
Yes, it doesn't seem as if much has humbled him throughout this entire experience.
I haven't really listened recently, but we did have like a 3-year streak of bringing up Adam Carolla on the show.
We did.
I did an interview with Carolla like a year ago. Or was it a year ago when this stuff started kind of popping off?
With
Weinstein?
Oh, it's been almost 2.5 years, 3
I'm
years
terrible
almost.
with
I
dates.
don't think it's been that long.
It's been 2 years, I think, almost.
Okay,
Me
if
too.
it's
I'm assuming 2 years.
I don't,
Roughly?
whatever it was, 2 years into this. I asked him specifically about it, and he was like, I've been calling this guy a douchebag piece of shit asshole for 10 years. He's like, none of this surprises me. He's horrible, and he was saying that. But just the fact that, like, and he could back it up on whatever show he was on. He was saying how horrible Harvey Weinstein was, blah, blah, blah. But he was saying how he was just a dirtbag for so many years. You would think, like, this isn't that surprising if he is, like, against anyone's advice or anything, that he's just out there trying to clear his name or whatever. But I guess, does somebody like that think that they're going to not face the music? Is that where we're at?
They believe their stature,
Right.
All right.
and there's reason to believe that that can be beneficial at times. Their stature and their money will get them out of whatever situation.
Look, Harvey Weinstein, before this broke, was probably the second, third most powerful person in Hollywood. Some would argue. Some would even argue he was the most powerful person in Hollywood at a moment. And it's something that we're seeing with powerful men, that all of a sudden that their work in the past now makes up for the terrible deeds that have come to light. That's just simply not how it works. Just because, and he points out in the interview, he's given, like, of all of his movies that he produced, he's given so many opportunities to women and women directors and women producers. And that doesn't mean it was okay for you to rape women. It doesn't mean it was okay for you to sexually assault. It doesn't mean it was okay for you to say, if you want this job, you have to nug, tug. Like,
that would be a quid pro quo.
Yes, it would be. So I don't understand. I mean, I understand why, because of these powerful men feel that since I have done this, you should not look at me as terribly as you have.
I've done some good.
Right. And that's not how it works.
Doesn't mean you haven't done terrible things.
Right. And so it's not, I'm not surprised that he's doing it, not surprised what he's saying. And I guess he's being the villain that I thought he probably has always have been. Like, people who think that it's okay to do terrible shit because you gave $50 to a homeless guy you saw on a sidewalk. It's not how life works. It's not how humanity works. And if you think that's you being human or you being humble and considerate, then you're clearly fucked in the head.
Then it's not, because you're looking for that to be a reason why you shouldn't be punished for your terrible deeds.
Yes. And he goes on to say,
it's obvious you really didn't have pure motivation to begin with.
And it goes to show that I don't think you understand the gravity of what you did. Like, and that's the scary thing, because, and I think it was just kind of alluded to in the brand new Fox News film by Jay Roach, Bombshell. There were women who were okay with their arrangement. There were women who were not. So don't confuse the two. So, and that's what I think a lot of these guys in this situation, even with Louis C.K., there were probably some comedians who were like, okay, get out the way, Louis. There were, I forgot who it was. There was a comedian.
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, she's like, all right, Louis, go ahead and get out the way. There were some women who probably were like, okay, whatever. There are also women who don't want that.
I also don't think it's fair to compare the two at all for what he's being charged with. One is as a massive hit list. He just paid $25 million. He's he's got trials. Like, there is a huge difference in the law and in opinion.
Louis C.K. did prevent people from working. Also, too. That was also.
I don't want to.
No, I'm just saying Louis C.K. But I'm just saying Louis C.K. also, like, when people didn't play ball with him wanting to jack off, he badmouthed them around the industry and prevented certain comedians, especially women comedians, from getting opportunities because they didn't want to play ball.
I just think that there's just such a difference.
There is. Okay, I'll say there's a difference. That's fine. But I'm not. I don't think there's a wide delta.
Touching yourself and touching someone else.
Yes,
there's
definitely.
a difference.
There's a difference in that. And I've said before, like, it was one thing for what Weinstein and Louis C.K. did, but once people made it up in their hearts and minds that they did not want to be around that bullshit, for those individuals to then go out of their way to then still harm their career because they had the courage to stand up for themselves, I thought was complete bullshit. And
Well, it's cowardly.
And that's my thing against Louis. Look, people can forgive Louis. If that's your speed, do whatever you think is fine. But I have an issue when people stand up and say, bro, that's weird to me. If that's what you like to do with other women, cool, but I'm out. And then when they decide to leave and they decide not to fuck with what you're trying to do, that you then go, I wouldn't hire that person for a set, or I wouldn't give that person a
Oh,
job
you're talking about
opportunity.
whenever, like back when it was going on.
Yeah,
Okay,
when
I
it was
like,
going
I think,
on.
And
listen,
I don't know the whole story. I just think there's a massive difference between the
No,
two
and that's
stories.
fine. And I'm okay with making
But
that difference. I just
CK came out and apologized to
CK
everybody,
at
right?
least did
Eventually,
that eventually, yeah, and thank God. And I think Harvey Weinstein, if I'm his PR person, and obviously you have a trial coming up, so you have to, I guess, legally be careful how you quote unquote apologize. But I'm not surprised because we've seen it out of powerful men over the last handful of years that this is the route they take when they finally get the microphone in front of their face.
If he's gonna go forward with defending himself, he's not going to apologize.
Right, very true.
Because it's in a criminal situation,
Right.
where others aren't necessarily in a criminal court. So for simple legal strategy, he's not going to do anything like that.
Right.
And I can't look, and I think the scariest thing for anybody, I think everyone can relate to, male or female, is that we have come across people in our line of works over the years that we could classify as, at the very least, creepy. And so as men, we can often avoid those situations. We can kind of work our way around it. And even some men confront those guys and say, hey, man, you being fucking creepy. A lot of times we have seen with these situations, women don't have that opportunity or authority to be able to always speak up, certainly in the moment, because they'll be seen often as confrontational or it's overly sensitive. And so you have to understand that these people endured this for a very long time. There are a lot of women in Hollywood that probably still haven't spoken up about their interactions with Harvey Weinstein because it's still so traumatizing and so terrible. The man's a fucking supervillain, if you ask me. Man, he's maybe one of the worst. Time recently gave out the Person of the Year. There should be a magazine dedicated to the most evil individual that year. Harvey Weinstein would have had it 2 years running. He is an awful human. He's an awful person.
What would that magazine be? Just
It would
like something like it would have to be like Mr. Burns would have to be the the inspiration for it too. Just call it Burns. Yeah, Burns Magazine, filthy bastard of the year.
Yeah, he says
Lousy rat bastard.
He says he's not faking the illness. He says he wants the city to recognize who I was instead of what I've become.
What?
Yeah, whatever the hell the fuck that means.
Is he going to show up in a Rascal or a Hover-Round next time instead of a Walker?
But guys like Weinstein.
Don't you motherfucker.
Stick around long
Ruin
enough, you'll
everything.
become the villain.
I think what Weinstein and
See that.
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if just to wrap it up, I hope if it's proven that all that stuff, I hope that everything that it looks like he's done or whatever else, I do hope there's some reckoning for that because.
I think there needs to be. I hope it.
Well,
is
it'd be
in
nice
this
to just
year.
have some clarity too. Like a lot, I'm somewhat confused with everything because there was so much that came around. I'm somewhat confused, and it also immediately made me think, like, the hell did what's your boy Bill O'Reilly? What did he do? He paid more than that to his person, right?
That guy spent almost nearly $40 million on
Initially, that's like,
payouts.
oh my gosh. But ultimately, I would just like some clarity, and then I think that's a win for everybody too, because then it says, if you do this, then this happens. There's no murky, there's no excuses for anyone. It just says, like, this guy, he did bad thing A, and this was the consequence. That would just be nice.
And I think with guys like Weinstein, I think with guys like Trump, their thinking is that, look, this has always been the culture. And I would bet that Trump and Harvey, they believe that there have been people who may have come before them who never had to face the music. There are people who they maybe even were mentored by, who never had to face the music for that kind of behavior. So to them, now that they're having to face it, they're outraged because they're saying, look, this was the culture. Everyone was doing it. Why are you picking us out of the blue? And I would just say to that, you idiots got caught. And I believe it was the culture. I believe it has been Hollywood culture to ultimately cultivate these kind of monsters. I understand why Trump feels the way that he does, because in the world that he's operated in, that's always been approved. That type of behavior has always been accepted as okay. So now when you become leader of the free world and there are things like laws you have to abide by in your position, that's why he says things like it was a perfect call. That's why he believes he's right genuinely, because he's never, ever had to be called out on this type of behavior, at least not to this extent. So I think that's what Weinstein believes, is that, oh, you guys are mad at me? Like Cosby, you mad at me when there was A, B, and C, D who were also doing it? That's why I think these guys are so defensive, is because they're looking around going, man, I remember the person who hired me. He was knocking them out 3-4 at a time and quid pro quo here and there. So I think that's why these guys have it in their head. Mind you, I've never been inside the head of a very wealthy, predatory white man, but I would imagine this is what they're saying. That it's culture, that it's...
Hey, watch yourself
Yeah,
there.
no, okay, Kyle,
You brought up R.
I brought
Kelly
up
not moments
R.
ago.
R. Kelly.
Cosby was in
But R.
there,
Kelly's...
too.
But you know what? You're right. R. Kelly's the same way. R. Kelly speaks
You
to
didn't
the
have
hip-
to say white man
Yeah,
to
that's
make
true,
it
that's
seem
fair.
like
That's
we're the
very true.
exclusive group
Yeah,
that
that's
does
very true.
this.
You guys just lead the league. You're like the Golden State Warriors of it all. I'm sorry. You're the
What?
number one ranked
I
team.
don't think
But you're like the
that's how that
Duke
works.
of predatory behavior.
Roll
But what
up.
I'm saying is that, yeah, those guys, R. Kelly, Cosby, they grew up in a culture where it was okay to drop Quaaludes in women's drink. They grew up in a culture where it was okay to pick up 14 and 15-year-olds from school. They grew up in that culture, so they are more surprised because it wasn't specifically them. They were like, I was engaged. People were enabling me. People allowed me to do it. So why are you telling me I can't do it now? Which
There
is
you have
sad.
it. We haven't talked any baseball today. Real quick, some free agent stuff going on.
Mad Bum.
Madison Bumgarner signs with the Diamondbacks. I only bring that up because he was like the Cardinals have been talked about with him so many times. 5 years, $85 million. That's like somewhere around what they gave Mike Leake a couple of years ago. It's kind of the way you look at it. It's very similar to Miles Michaelis' contract. Are you disappointed that the and who knows, they could have been second round. Maybe, I think Madison's from Texas, right? Is he from Texas, Gardner?
I don't. I thought he was from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's it. So maybe location had something to do with it. Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
I could be wrong,
Diamondbacks
though.
get him, which immediately, instead of just being like, oh, that's a team making a move, I get it. Immediately, I was thinking like, oh, the Cardinals kicked the tires on that? And maybe they did, and maybe they got beat out. I don't know. The money, though, the time, and his ability, I think that he could have been a fit. You guys signing that contract with Madison Bumgarner if you're one
I would have
one
preferred the
John.
Kluber trade.
I was going
Kluber
to take that.
trade.
Gardner
Really?
took the words right out of my mouth. He took the words right out of my mouth. Considering what they traded
Oh.
for, what the Rangers traded for to get him,
Yeah.
abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
That is more than anything. That was because we've talked about if
Corey
the Cardinals
Kluber
are going to
traded
make
from
him.
the Indians to the Rangers. by the way,
Look,
Jameson.
Corey Kluber went to the Rangers, I believe, for Delino DeShields Jr. and a top prospect from the Rangers.
Does throw
Single
very
But
hard.
but I think the Cardinals. I would have look. The Cardinals got a plethora of pitching. They had in my head, I see that deal. I
That
see an
bothers you
opportunity to
more?
pick up a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, a guy that would be a immediately top of the rotation guy. You want to combine Kluber with Flaherty and Hudson and Michaelis. That is easily one of the top 3, top 4 rotations, at least in the National League. That is a very formidable rotation, especially in the NL Central. And again, it's cost effective. It would not have broke the bank for the St. Louis Cardinals to have made that deal. That is the deal that's more frustrating to me as opposed to the Mad Bum. Mad Bum, that is a good deal for the Diamondbacks, all things considered. And he's your immediate ace right away. I'm not surprised that the Cardinals weren't in on that amount of money. It would have been nice to have a Mad Bum to that Cardinal rotation, but okay, I get it. I also want the Cardinals to spend money on a bat. That's why I thought the Kluber deal would have been brilliant for the Birds had they gotten that one, because you may have lost the prospect, but you got back a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Still with You would think at age 33, you would imagine he's still got a good 3-4 good seasons left in him. Put it again. You want to talk about Flaherty and Kluber? That's a nice one too. And then you got Hudson and Michaelis, and then maybe Carlos as your 5. That's a nice rotation you're working there.
I definitely would have been mad if they would have pulled that deal for Kluber to the Cardinals, but I don't know. I thought the Bumgarner thing made more sense. It just.
I saw the Cardinals not spending that money, and if they were going to spend that amount of money, they were going to spend it on a bat if that was available. And
what would you do if the Cardinals signed Puig? They won't. They won't,
and they shouldn't, because you don't need another out. I mean, he's not that outfit. If you're going to do that, then you might as well sign Jose Martinez.
Yeah, and for Kluber, for me, I just don't think you're committed as long term, which
Right.
is what they would have desired, is to have some flexibility, which they've
That's
said
fair.
before. So to me, that made more sense.
Do you think they make what we would designate as a big move this offseason?
No, probably not, because I think people can be unreasonable.
I
with
agree.
what they-
Do you think incremental?
I mean, they made a big move last year,
Huge. Paul
Yeah.
Goldschmidt.
and then
Huge.
the year before, what did they do?
You can't.
I mean, so
I think
they've
though,
made big moves the previous 2 off seasons.
I think Gardner, you're exactly right. I think, however, to not make a move if you're going to lose Ozuna, and it looks like they are,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Oh boy,
But
that's
the
a
thing,
lot
here's
of.
the
there's
thing:
so
you don't
many
make
ifs.
moves to make moves, though. Like it has to make
True,
sense.
it does have to make sense. Absolutely.
So if the
Spence-
deals aren't
sense
making
with the C.
sense,
But
then
do you believe this?
Arenado's available. Okay, then what the fuck are you giving up? And the
Right,
Rockies have
right.
never played ball with
They've never
anything
played,
like
no.
that.
No, they haven't.
Not even Arenado, but other shit.
Right. Agree.
With Blackman and stuff like that.
Agreed.
No offense. Excuse me.
I think
so.
straight
It's like
up Dexter,
I'm not.
sending Dexter Fowler back to the Rockies for
Yeah,
Arenado
exactly.
makes sense.
So like
Why the hell not?
you just don't make moves to make moves. If you're that uninterested, then don't watch. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
But you have. I mean, it has to make sense.
I would hope they do something. If you're going to lose Ozuna, I hope you find a bat that's comparable.
I don't. But the thing
don't
is, I don't
think
think
they
you
will.
can.
And if you can't, then the Cardinals are going to.
And, and in that situation, you don't just go make a move to make
No,
a move.
I
though.
agree. I definitely agree. However, that's a lot of offense that won't be available.
Yeah.
So you need to. You
I'll
can't.
tell
just
you
say,
what, your fucking prospects better deliver then, and
I'm
they
about to
better
say-
deliver at an early age
and
because I'll
that's a
tell
lot of pressure
because
on
other
these guys.
prospects have.
Yeah.
Like I watch Juan Soto, I watch Ronald Acuna, and I see them talk the shit up. So if you're going to talk Dylan Carlson up and Nolan Gorman up, and they don't
And-
come out swinging,
Yeah.
then you know what? It's
Yeah.
on you.
That Gardner's
If
right.
if you're going to invest in your
Yeah.
prospects, then they better deliver. I don't need 3 years
Go
of
higher
development.
level.
I need shit right away.
Go higher level. Harrison Bader, Tyler O'Neill.
So like you better deliver. That's all.
Hey,
And if
Gardner's a
not,
good-
then
there it is.
Then you get criticism, and we say
There it is.
you do not get the benefit
Yeah.
of telling us about prospects
Yeah.
anymore because they don't deliver when needed.
does
that's
Alex
perfect.
Reyes play into their plan?
But that's also
Oh, I'm
that's
sure, but you don't count on them.
You don't
You
count
treat
on
them like
them.
Jaime Garcia.
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
okay, whatever I get is a bonus.
Carlos a starter or closer?
I don't know.
He's not a closer. I'll tell you that. I don't think he's a closer. And you would imagine. I don't know what Hicks' availability is at this point.
Not at the
Yeah,
beginning of
not
the
at
season.
beginning.
But
and then,
then
and
I
then
don't-
what always happens with these stupid reliever things, especially for a guy like Hicks, it's exciting and everybody wants him to rush back. They go, oh yeah, halfway through the year he'll be ready. No, he won't. He'll be medically cleared to play.
Right.
He'll have 8 miles off his velocity,
Right.
and it'll take more time to build him back up. And then you run the risk of hurting himself
Right.
again.
Right.
So hopefully, because he's younger, he can bounce back faster.
Well, I mean,
but don't expect a damn thing out of him.
how
this
they
year either.
rehab it is down. I mean, if everything goes to plan, there's
Right. But don't
it's
rush him
this
back, and
month,
don't
this
expect
week,
anything
this
out of him.
day. I mean, they have that rehab process down.
I think Gardner's exactly right. I
Don't
think-
expect anything out of Hicks
no,
this year.
No, I'm not, and I wouldn't
be
either.
late
And I
in the
wouldn't expect a
season
ton out of
or so.
Reyes. I think, but Gardner's exactly right. If you hit the nail on the head, my God. If the Cardinals, if you're not telling me that those guys aren't ready to step into the lineup to be boppers, to be studs,
Well,
then
Harrison
you need to
Bader,
shut the
like,
hell up
come
and go
on.
out there and find someone with
Because-
Side Ozuna back. Otherwise, you're right, Gardner. I'm looking
but then,
for
because then what you're going to have is a talking point of we'll have a log jam in the outfield. I don't give a fuck about a log
Oh,
jam. I
wow.
give a fuck about who can play.
There it is.
Like a log jam doesn't like if they're all mediocre,
Right.
then you have a log jam because you have mediocre talent.
Right.
If you had someone that was head and shoulders above the rest, you don't have a log jam then because you have a starter. So it's all about how relative the talent is to one another, which is if it's just, above average, just a little bit above average, then you really don't have a logjam. You have just misdiagnosed the talent you have within your organization.
Look, you hope a guy like DeYoung, obviously a great first half, shaky second. You hope that he can put it all together for a full season. Obviously, you want Matt Carpenter to return to form, which would be a huge boost. But you have to also look at some realities. You know Dexter Fowler is going to give you what you got last year, hopefully,
Maybe.
again next year. You know Yachty isn't giving you 162. It's just that ain't the thing. That ain't for Yachty. I mean, not Yachty would love to play the 162, I'm sure, but physically he's just he's not able to do it, and he's losing a little bit on his bat as well. So there are certain realities that exist right now. And the Cardinals, like to Gardner's point, if you have the prospects are going to be Acuna-like, then they better be Acuna-like if you're going to talk them up the way that you have this offseason. But to Gardner's point, look, it's on your ass if they don't. And I don't want to hear guys need to just be better.
And
you knew what they were when
And
the
it's going to
season
be
started. Don't
frustrating
bullshit
because
us.
Dylan Carlson won't be a starter to start the season.
He's not going to get brought up this year.
Oh, he will. Yeah, he'll get brought up.
Do you think Carlson's a May guy we'll see in May, June?
I would hope.
You put it this way. Would you need, and I know we're going over, but would you need a Dylan Carlson to essentially be in that lineup to justify no moves this offseason?
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Because if you're going to highlight a prospect and tell me he's worth it, don't give me about development.
Okay. Good.
I've seen other guys come up, and the game is obviously different now and has changed. Young guys are coming up and playing early on. I've seen the Cubs do it.
Yeah.
We saw Bryce Harper. We've seen even recently what we have with guys. I mean, look at Madison Bumgarner when he came up. How old was he?
He's only 31 now, 30 now.
It feels like
It feels like he's been
He
older.
feels
than
like
that.
he's Wainwright.
AARP.
Yeah, I'm about to
right?
say, yeah, the guy's got 3 championship
So you know
rings
what?
before 30.
If you think the guy can deliver, show me. Let me see it. Don't tell me about it. That's all.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, Madison Bumgarner, 30 years old.
Wow.
And he's done
Impressive.
everything he's done. Buster Posey's 32.
Well, Mad Bum's got a Cy Young. He's got a couple, at least 2 championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Giants. And before 30. That's a nice deal for the Diamondbacks. That's not bad at all. I like Mad Bum.
And you got to think they can flip him if things go.
Well, you know the Diamondbacks,
awry.
they're definitely known to do that. Just don't send them to the Astros.
Yeah, there we go. That'll do it for today. Don't forget this Thursday we are doing comedy at Sophie's. That's presented by Jack Daniels. We have Schlafly specials. That'll be a good time. That's at 6 o'clock Thursday. Gastro Pit at 8:30 Thursday. Gastro Pit. You know what, Travis? They got that late night barbecue menu. Cannot say enough good things about that. Come out, see a show, 6 o'clock or 8:30 this Thursday at either one of the venues that we do each and every week. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, all the good folks who've tuned in today. Really appreciate that. We're back live. Oh, do we need to do a shout out before we go?
I'll do it mine tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'll just
Gardner
shout
has a
out
special shout out.
I'll just shout out Travis today for turning the world upside down and making it in. Like, still in shock. I don't know how we got through the show.
Yeah, what a day. Travis got here. He didn't see the forecast is the problem.
Right. Ah!
He's like, I got here.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Shit, there's more?
Everybody be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in. We're back live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Weather permitting. See you then.
Peace.